I like this little
It's fucking good, man.
this
Okay,
little feature.
let me hear this. Oh, I can't. I'm not gonna be able to hear it without hearing it live. I'm gonna stop it for a second. Oh, it's fucking beautiful. It's great. Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
Heard it. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. Or welcome, whether you're new or not, to the Film Cave episode number 58. It's your boy Knight.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Logan here. We got some background music in this bitch. Let's go. Boy. We moving up, man.
Right. We are making big moves.
And what's this one called? Night driving? What is it?
Night driving, man. Just cruising.
Man, that's my shit.
On interstate, the highway, top down, just chilling.
You had a convertible?
No, but I did not. But I was driving on highways. It was great, and I miss it dearly. But yes, what's going on, y'all? We thank you so much for joining us on the latest episode of the Film Cave. Not a lot to talk about, but very excited to talk about what we're going to talk about. That's for goddamn sure. But as always, if you guys like what you see here, if you enjoy the show, the conversation, our dynamic, the interaction, whatever it may be, the easiest way, the simplest way, and the cheapest way to support us to hit that subscribe button right down there. It's simple, easy click, 1, 2. Hit the thumbs up. Really helps the show reach a lot more people. And that notification bell to be reminded whenever our faces pop back up again. You know you want to see it, so don't act like you don't. So yeah, we'd appreciate it so much, whether that's live or playback. We thank you regardless. What's going on, man? What it do?
Not a whole lot, man. It's been a relatively slow week in terms of what we're usually up to, but we're supposed to be going to Colorado this weekend.
What it do, Neo?
So we'll see how that goes, because we're supposed to also get on Thursday a random full-on freeze possible snowstorm again.
Oh, that's right.
And so now the question is are we even going to be able to fucking get to the airport, because it's a 2-hour drive to get to Dallas, and then will the fucking
fly?
Yeah, will the plane take off? So that would be fantastic. Of course,
that would be an automatic reschedule for me, just in case.
But
flying on a damn snowstorm.
Well, but we're about to go to Colorado and it's warmer. It was 70 today. And short sleeve shirt, incredible out. And then it's going to be, I think the high is 27 on Thursday. So figure that shit out. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a bit annoying. A little crazy, but I don't know. I'm a scary ass when it comes to that. So I'm like, what? Snowstorm flying? I'm okay. So that's probably my train of thought.
I don't know. I don't know the dangers of it, so I'm just going to go in. If this is the last time you see me, we made it to 58.
Well, that's also very, very true. All right, so I say we do the damn thing. You ready?
Let's do it. Yes, sir.
All right, so for those of you, some of you know, but some of you don't. Me and Logan are a couple of what?
Fucking nerds.
There it is, a couple of fucking nerds, man. Which means we love film. We really do. We talk about it all the damn time. Just can't get enough of it. But there's more, to the world than just film. There's other things we're passionate about. Still, most of the times it ends up being about film and shit like that related to anyway. Because why, sir?
Because she's a jealous ass bitch over there, Miss Film.
Yes, she is. She doesn't like, too much of spotlight off of her. So you got to tread carefully. Real careful. But she's sneaky. She always knows what's going on. But we like to call this here segment. Oh, look, we've got a nice little
I was going to say what you got.
For, I don't know. It's out there in the world with our new background music. Yeah.
I love that I can see you now. When you went that up, I could see you, and you're just like killing it.
That's true. You can see me.
Yeah.
Dancing my little jig while I'm singing and shit. Absolutely. But this particular fashion in which we go about out there in the world, good sir, do you want to tell the people, for those who are watching, what kind of fashion? Just, I don't know. What would that be, sir? What would it be?
Traditionary fashion over here for out there in the world.
Yes. Traditionary fashion. And in said fashion, what do you got for us, brother?
Yeah, first thing is I don't have it with me, but I did finish that Artemis book that I showed off last week from the guy that wrote The Martian, and I really, really enjoyed it. I think that it is very good for a like limited series, like a 1-season series. It would be fucking incredible, to be honest. Massive sci-fi, tons of like action, suspense. Like it was really damn good. Characters are awesome. Rated R, so it's like, you know, they talk about sex and say fuck, and you know, they're smuggling drugs and shit like that onto the moon, which is funny. But yeah, so I'm actually kind of surprised that I haven't heard anything about it, because I think that they would probably change the name for the show, because Artemis is just the name of like the city on the moon. I think they could come up with a better title than that, but
we'll go like City of Artemis or some shit.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like, or just pull like a Netflix and just call it like Moon Heist or something like that's just so direct and like,
or Moonfall, like this.
Oh god,
Roland Emmerich's latest movie.
Yeah, no. But yeah, no, but I don't actually think that it would work very well for a film, just one. Because there is a ton of stuff going on, and I mean, it's a book, so it's got, you know, plenty of goodies in there and details. So I just think it needs to take its time. But like a good 8-episode season would be incredible, and it's very doable too with all the material in there. So I don't know. I am almost sad that I haven't heard anything about it, because it should be getting more praise.
That's because people don't like to read. I done told you this.
Yeah, no, you're right.
All right, we're a struggling nation of, you know, visually just reluctant people, including myself. That's not talking shit at all. I'm one of them.
I was one. I am one. I'm just trying to force myself to read. It's a struggle. Definitely a struggle.
That's fair. It happens. It does. What can you do? But speaking of series that look incredible, based off source material, we got our first official trailer for Halo over this past what was it? Oh, the weak ass championship game.
Mm-hmm.
They released about 2 minutes. They like released a minute of it, and then they released a full 2-minute and some change trailer shortly after the fact. And I'm, as a massive Halo fan, I am here for it.
Yeah.
Visually, it looks fucking incredible. Like, they put a lot of money in this, which I was very surprised. Not surprised, but I expected it to be a lot more contained. When I saw the trailer, I was like, holy shit.
They went all out. Yeah.
Yeah. All the Easter eggs are there. All the series, you know, regular and everything aesthetic is there so far from this trailer. That motherfucker better never take off that helmet.
Well, don't they show him with his helmet off in the trailer?
Yeah, we've gotten shots before when he's like the back of his hand.
Okay, gotcha.
Whatever, like, but you've never seen his face ever.
Sure.
Just like the Doom fucker. Like, you always see the back of his head, but never his face. So yeah, he better never do that. Even though the dude who plays him is pretty cool. What'd you think, sir? Lay it on me.
As someone who has never played a second of Halo,
blasphemous,
and also the fact that this is on Paramount Plus, I could not give a fuck about it whatsoever. It looks like a very expensive thing I will never watch. Because I don't
Thank
know
you so much for watching tonight.
Yeah,
we'll tune in next
literally.
week.
It's because it's like I don't know the story at all, and you know, it's just I see Halo as a Call of Duty, you know, where it's like the story.
It's actually the other way around.
isn't, it's now just a moneymaker of a multiplayer game. But I would obviously guess that the world is rich for storytelling, and I'm sure there's been some good campaigns out there. But yeah, I mean, overall, it looks like they put the money into it. It looks interesting, but like, I will have to hear that it is great for me to watch it. And even if that's the case, I don't know if I have Paramount Plus.
Really? But even
I'm not gonna pay
because
for
of the fact you're not so aware of it, you wouldn't want to go into like.
Well, I don't care
see
about
what
it.
It's about.
No.
Oh shit. Okay.
I mean, no, I'm not. I've never cared about Halo. Like, it's just never been on my radar at all. But there's a piece of me that's intrigued, but like, it's small.
Well, goddamn. No, it looks great, man. Like I said, there's a lot of shit like I don't care about, but I'll check out if it's like intrigued. Like,
that's the thing is like, no, it looks great. I'm probably not gonna watch it. Like, I'm just being straight up. Like, there's plenty of stuff that comes out that looks. I mean,
you should at least give it the one episode like try.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the thing is I'll wait and hear what people say, and because that's the thing too is I mean, it is completely 50-50 on diehard fans online right now. Like, there's either people that are like you or like Kenya who said, "Hey, this looks fire," and then literally the next person down is like been a diehard fan. That looks fucking garbage. And I'm like, what are they seeing or not seeing?
Like, yeah, you're stupid.
I'm trying to figure it out, but like, I don't know. It's interesting.
I've seen people do that, and it just went into like the same argument I always say, like just fandom bitching about something just because they can. Like, if you have a logical reason why you don't like something, right? Cool. There's no argument there.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, why is not this? Why is not that? No, I just don't like it. Well, what the fuck? Like, why not? Like, and that's what's happening with that. Like, I remember I've seen somebody. There's a character called I fucking mix the name up all the time.
Cortana.
Yeah. I was about to say Corona. I was all the fucking time. Who's like a literally AI sentient being who like is going around with Master Chief, lives in his head, she's a being, guides you through the shit, and sometimes you see her form. Excuse me. And she's like this blue holographic chick. Somebody said a picture of, out of all the designs, they hate that. I'm like, bitch, she looks exactly the fucking same. It's a human-looking thing, and she's light blue. Why are you mad?
I saw people upset about it, and I'm like, what could you possibly not like about it? Like, so I think that's the thing is like looking at the trailer. Nothing in it makes you lean one. Like, there's no way to say this doesn't look like it could be very good. It. But also, I will say, nothing blew me away. Like, I guess in terms of a trailer, nothing made me go, oh my God, I need to try this out. Like, I was just like, hey, this looks like they spent money on it.
That I can get. But like you said, if somebody said, "Oh, this does not look good," you're on fucking crack.
So many people were like absolutely dogging it, and I'm like, "What did you see? It didn't show enough to get mad."
It's just, I don't know. I hate fandom and shit sometimes. Like, y'all just dumb. Like, even when I'm a hardcore fan of some shit, there's logical reasons why I don't fucking like something. The Batman, hey, the suit, this part, the cowl, whatever, but I'll give it a chance, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But there's reasoning, not just because I want to dislike it.
Yeah.
Fucking hate that shit. Ugh. Makes my skin crawl. But anywho, what else you got?
Other thing is, I got new internet today.
I saw it. I was very confused. I don't know what that shit means, but explain away.
You don't know what that means? Like, you don't know what you pay for internet speeds?
I don't know what the fuck. You said something about a fig. What the fuck did you say? That you got a fiber? Or
fiber.
What the hell is it?
Yeah, that's what it's. So it's fiber optic cable. So like your internet, because you're in like an older building, I think, aren't you?
Yeah, odds are high.
It's always been through coax, which is the thing that you use to screw into your TV to get channels. It's got the cable with the poker stick in it, and you put it in, you screw it. So that goes into your modem, and that's just copper wire. So it sends data over using heat, basically, and speeds on that are unreliable and whatever. And so now it's fiber, which is fiber optic cable, which is it's a little cable, and it's you can bend it and stuff. You got to be careful because it's a glass tube that there is a light shooting through the cable And so now your speeds can, they use the speed of light instead of heat through copper. And so it's a lot easier to get faster speeds. And so like any business that has like their own building, they have fiber they dig in the ground and run cables straight to the building.
I definitely can't do that shit. So.
And no, Kenya, the cable, my fiber optic cable is like, I mean, it is teeny tiny. Like I could show you, but yeah, so I'm fucking ecstatic because literally I'm getting basically 1,000 up and 1,000 down, which is like unheard of for homes. And I mean, now I can upload a 15 gig YouTube video in like 2.5 minutes.
Okay, well, now you're just showing off.
So I'm fucking ecstatic. And our internet bill went down, which I'm paying $80 for internet. So that's kind of high for me, I think, but also for those speeds, it's fucking great. So I'm ecstatic.
Well, damn. Excuse me, but just make us feel some type of way, why don't you?
We literally because I'm an IT guy, so last week my coworker and I both got the little pamphlet. It's AT&T sent this pamphlet out to everybody and was like, hey, this is available in your area. We just rolled it out. Here's the prices and stuff. And we came in the next day and we're like, hey, did you get that thing? And he was like, we have to do it. We got to do it. And so both of us are doing it. And, but I did it first. And so I was sending him those pictures and he was like, you son of a bitch.
I'll be stuck here with my shitty New Yorker.
Yeah, that's tough.
Shit, unless I get a fucking house upstate, then I guess I'm fucking screwed. But hey, it's just gonna be what it is. So on another note, a sequel to HBO Max's most successful streaming film has been announced, and that is Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat 2 is officially greenlit and starting to roll out all its shit it needs to get this done. And personally, I'm excited. Very excited because those of you know I loved the first one. Obviously has issues, but it was just a great time for me, and nerdgasm, shout out, Easter egg filled, just everything. So I'm like, I love it. But what intrigued me the most, could have been excited regardless, but what sold me was the writer for Moon Knight.
Correct.
Attached to this, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, okay, we could be getting a whole new just tonal shift, a lot more depth, depending on what they tell him. But he's probably like, listen, I know what I'm doing. Let me just rock out. And that makes me happy and very, very interesting. So yeah, what are your thoughts on MK2?
It's I can tell you I am more excited, and it's strictly because I thought Mortal Kombat was a horrible film. I will never watch it again. And what I said was, if you want me to watch the sequel, you need to replace everyone. And we're a step in that direction, because Warner Brothers obviously the Warner Brothers obviously looked at that and said, hey, that script was horrible. Why did we shoot that? Don't even ask that motherfucker back. Like, yeah. So I'm happy because obviously we haven't seen Moon Knight. The trailer looks fucking great. And it looks like it would need a very smart script to have multiple personalities and shit like that. And so bringing somebody like that can make that Moon Knight fit into more of a realism type of world, because it's fucking out there. Egyptian gods and multiple personalities mixed together, and all of a sudden he's wrapped in bandages and shit, and you're going to make that somehow cool and fit in the reality of what we live in. That's perfect to bring to Mortal Kombat, and say, hey, let's get some smart writing in here. So I'm excited for that step forward, because it sounds like they're trying to help some things out, and that's a good thing.
Right. And unfortunately, it seems like Cole is sticking around. That's the one thing I'd wish they'd get rid of.
He is, of course, going to stick around. That's the main character.
I know, but I don't want him. If they bring him back, I want him to be a side character. Like, make your characters we love.
It's possible.
Be the forefront. Have Liu Kang be the fucking champion, because that's who he is. That's Mortal Kombat. I don't want
And he
Cole
was
Young
good.
to be this.
I liked the actor.
He was, but of course overshadowed because it had to be Cole. So I'm like,
but to your point though, Cole's story's kind of done in the sense of you already used up all the family shit, and besides, a future of possibly making him Scorpion. But like, motherfucker better get better at acting if you're gonna take him down that route.
I would have rathered him be the new generation Scorpion. Like, we got our badass Scorpion, avenge my family here, and then.
Because my question, I guess, is like, are they trying to pull an Anakin Skywalker and do over 2 or 3 movies, an arc with someone who can't act, into delving into the dark side and becoming this, because that's not gonna work. But
it's not. It's tough because in the lore there's only fucking one Scorpion. Like, that's it.
Right.
Like, there's multiple Sub-Zeros, but there's one Scorpion throughout because the motherfucker's, he's in hell. He's a soul. He's dead.
Right.
He doesn't have to change up.
Mm-hmm.
So there would have to be some just smart way to believe, okay, this is a new Scorpion and why.
Yeah.
But I just don't see it at the moment. So play Cole in the background, have Liu Kang rise to be our champion. We'll have, I forgot what the dead brought back to life are called in the Mortal Kombat lore, but Kung Lao, and just get it popping. But
yeah,
I have faith. We'll see. Give it to me. Give me some bad.
I'd like to see. I'd like to see Mortal Kombat, if possible. It'd be great.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna get it.
Because somebody, as soon as like that rider was announced, somebody like a big account posted and was like, "What's something you want to see in the sequel to Mortal Kombat?" And I just typed Mortal Kombat, just period. That's it.
But and I mentioned this before. It's tricky, and a lot of people, I don't think they forgot, but I think they just want the original, the origin of it. But Mortal Kombat is no longer like just your basic cutthroat or cut and paste tournament anymore. Like, it goes so beyond that now.
I just think you could have started with it and then gone beyond.
Right. No, that's true. You could have started with that and then opened it up. That's very true. And no, not the wraiths. The something with a D. They're fucking called. I'll have to look it up and come back. Not those. I'm sure there's plenty in the cast that are. I'm sure. Damn, that's gonna bug me. It's gonna. I'm sorry. I have to.
Go for it. Go for it.
I have to. It's something with a D. I know that.
And then everybody's talking about Johnny Cage. I just hope that he's not fucking annoying.
That's his character, though.
I know, but you have to make him charming,
right?
More, as well. So that's why, because I keep seeing people say that one guy that is mostly a stuntman that kind of acts. I don't know if he can pull it off or not.
Well, Scott Adkins.
Yeah.
I mean, he would have been a badass Batman if they required too much acting and depth.
What?
He would have been a badass Batman just for fighting and all. Like one of those fan film Batmans, he'd be fucking great.
Fan film Thank you. I was about to say, like, what are you talking about?
Sorry, Revenants, not with a D. Revenants. Sorry.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh yeah, he's called Wraith. Yeah. Sorry, I was just used to Revenants. I've never called him a Wraith ever in life. Sorry, Neo.
Chris Pratt.
That would hurt my soul if that happened.
What if they were like, dropped a bomb, Chris Evans as, because he could actually be that.
That'd be interesting.
Douchebag asshole.
Learn some fucking martial arts.
That's correct.
Stunt doubles and that shit. I know that. Because that's one thing I will say. That's the only hindrance. Because the first movie was just filled with actual fucking martial artists.
Right.
That had to do that, except for Sonya. And that was obvious. Her and Melina. Like all these little cutaway fights. I'm like, I'm like, okay, well, now we see. But yeah. Okay, so did you have what do you got, sir? Anything else?
Oh shit, I thought I had some. Oh, It's been confirmed.
Mm.
The GOAT is resting.
That's where I was gonna go. Yeah, that's my next one too.
How you feeling?
Yeah. It's
this
rough,
is
man.
This is an interesting.
It's rough.
It's actually an interesting feeling because, besides Kobe, like, I haven't had to experience, like, I wasn't like when MJ finally retired for the second time. It was like, I wasn't about it then. I was young, whatever. But this is like the first. It's like, oh shit! Like, we're gonna have an NFL without Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Very weird.
It's. I have to. You said that. I'm probably not gonna watch the shit for a while because I don't give a fuck about anybody else. Like no, but like everyone else is cool. But it's like Brady's literally the NFL. Like it's like it has been. Yeah, we lost the GOAT. We lost the greatest player to ever step foot on the tarp. We've lost one of the greatest fucking athletes universally ever across sports. And it really sucks. And it sucks because he still had so much more left in him. I blame Giselle.
Yeah.
I blame Giselle because it's like this man wasn't even close to just like breaking down. It's showing, your age is showing, where like none of that. You had a few more years left in you. I'm convinced, and it's like I said, the way he went out hurts. He didn't go out bad. Like it's like oh my god, but you lost.
He was strong though.
Oh, of course. That's the thing. He lost over something that he had no control over because of injuries, depleted.
Sure.
All of your main top of the line players throughout the whole league done. Dealing with a fucking psychopath. He's done. He left up and leaves. And it's like if you would have came back full strong, won your ring, then went out, got you.
Yeah.
But you lost over something that you couldn't control, and then you're retired after that. I know it's Giselle's fault, God damn it. I know it was.
It really is a thing of he should have retired after they won. Pulled a Peyton. Because that's true. Peyton Manning is also somebody I love.
That's
Peyton
different.
Manning.
That's different.
But because
Peyton's running, Tom's run, that's different when they came like when they should have.
But that's the thing though, is like Tom Brady, I think, is like the GOAT, but I do think Peyton Manning is the greatest quarterback ever, like true quarterback, because that's like literally all he can do. But like Tom Brady is like greatest champion, competitor. Like he was like, we're not fucking losing, is literally his mindset and has been for 20 years, which is wild. But yeah, so his first game was in 2001. I was 6 and I'm 27. That's so weird. So yeah, I mean, that's fucking awesome. And obviously he's proud as fuck. And I think it makes sense for the fact that he wants to be with his kids and his fine ass wife and all that shit. And it makes sense. But like,
they ain't going nowhere. They're already grown. You fine. And like Giselle's like, I don't want to see him get hit. He's an athlete. He's gonna get hit.
Well, but
leave him alone. It's like,
do you know how much money he's got? He don't need any more fucking rings. He's good.
No, it's just a competitive nature. And he needs
but like, I have seen, because I haven't fucking watched a second of a game, but I have seen stuff with LeBron this year where I'm starting to see where he's like, you know what? I don't know if I give a fuck anymore. Like, he's finally like getting old enough, because he's old as shit, you know? And so he's like, because I saw a clip where he was like doing press after a loss, and somebody was asking him like, you know, hey, what are y'all gonna do about, you know, the changes? And like they like kind of talk shit to him, and he was like, you know what? He's like, I'm done. He's like, I got a movie date with my wife, and left. And I was like, you know what? Good for you. Like, fuck them. And which also, it's in the middle of the season, but like there's 82 games versus, you know, 14 or whatever it is for the NFL. So it's a bigger deal if you fuck around in the NFL season. But like, I can see that with him where he's kind of like, I don't know if I need to get another ring. Like, I think that he's kind of just like, I'll just keep playing because I'm good as fuck, but like, I'm good. And I respect Tom Brady because he's like, I'm not there anymore. Like, mindset wise, he's like, I don't care enough. And he's like, I'm not going to fuck around and ruin y'all's next season because I'm not caring. So I respect that.
I know, but he had one more year. Like, he wasn't even depleted yet.
But also his contract was up. So like he would have to re-up and they wouldn't give him a 1-year contract.
Shit, yeah. So what if he asked for us, like, give me 1 year, we're good. Why not? And then I help you fucking rule out your process for the next one or whatever.
Well, that's the thing is then everybody knows, oh, this is his last year. Fucking half the defense is going to try to murder him. Everybody else is going to try to, so it's a weird thing. Like, not everybody gets a Kobe or like Dwayne Wade's final like season where they kind of just they're doing jersey swaps and shit, and like everybody loves them, and not everybody gets that. So
I don't know. I feel like he would have. I feel like he would have got this. That's the fucking greatest ever.
No, he would have. But I'm just saying, like,
they tried
for both of them, for Kobe and for Dwayne Wade, they were on losing fucking teams. It wasn't about the winning. It was about the farewell tour.
Right.
Tom Brady's trying to win. Like, that's why I respect the fuck out of Peyton, because he went out there, won the Super Bowl, and said, "See you guys." That's all I wanted to do, and just show them. And then he's like, "And now I'm gonna go fuck around and do whatever else I want." And I think that's fucking savage. I love.
That's the thing. I wanted him to do that. This is like, come back, win the fucking thing, and then just leave, and then retire. Because like, you didn't go out fully loaded. Like,
if he had won this one, would you have been okay with him retiring?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I get that
for sure. Because you just went back to back. Now I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, you just won back to back Super Bowls, so you can retire. That shit would have been gangster as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. But I mean, you won last year, and that's still very recent. So on your first year on a new team, why not?
Obviously, still capable.
Right. Absolutely. So I don't know. We'll see. Now he's selling clothes and shit. So who knows?
I know he's about to be a billionaire doing whatever else he wants.
Oh, he's about to. Yeah, it's about to be stupid. I'm pretty sure. Absolutely. All right. I think that's all I had for.
I believe the same
out there in the world. Well, excuse me. Damn, I'm so gassy. Like indigestion right up in the chest. My chest. But yeah, so that's going to do it for Out There in the World. Thank y'all so much. If there's anything that you feel we might have left out, please let us know in the comment section or the live chat right now and or playback. We'll be sure to poke in and out, keep the conversation going there, but also keeping it alive here during the live. It's a lot of lives. So let us know. We'll be sure to get to it at the end of the show. Bars, what the fuck? What is happening?
Killing it.
On a roll right now. Sign my ass. I'm about to be with the Riddler. Album cover. What's up? Album dropping next year.
That's funny. As soon as somebody said Kanye's next album, I was like, oh my God, he would wear that.
He would. Like, that's full ass fucking Yeezus attire.
Mm-hmm.
So stupid. Yeah, I am very ghastly.
What up, Jedi Mike? Good to see you, my boy.
Hey. Been a minute. little throwback. All right, so let's get on to our topics of the evening. And I want to start off with something near and dear to my heart, but a little frustrated, a little shady, a little shisty on some shit. But we'll see what we get with this. Momoa is officially part of the Fast family. He is going to play not a Hobbs, not a cousin of a Hobbs, because those would make sense. He's the villain of Fast 10, along with Charlize Theron. So I wonder what that's going to be about.
Mm-hmm.
But he made it official. He's part of the Fast. He's going to be the villain for the next installment. First, what are your thoughts on it? And then I'll get to what I think it's a little shady, a little shisty. But what do you think about it?
It's funny because they looked at him before for a Hobbs.
Oh, that's where I was going. Yeah.
So I mean, And also, this is horrible, but like, The Rock says I'm not coming back. So let's go for the other Islander A-lister, basically.
Yeah.
The younger version of The Rock, which he's not. But yeah, it's funny. I mean, I'm not gonna watch it.
Well, we know I am. So,
Correct.
Like you said, they approached him before because The Rock wanted him to play his brother,
Mm-hmm.
and this was for Hobbs and Shaw. Now Vin Diesel comes in the mix and was like, I want the man Dwayne wanted. Get him. I think this is a petty ass chess move on Vin's part. So, like, you don't want to come back? Fine. I'm going to take the motherfucker you wanted and I'll put him in my franchise.
Pay him as much as we'd pay you.
Right. And keep it moving. Ha ha ha. Yeah. That's what I feel happened, and I hate that shit. So just of course, because The Rock's not coming back, but he's just putting salt in the wound, just like, ha,
right.
Here you go, ha, laughing. I'm excited just because it's Jason Momoa. Like, love the man. Like,
yeah, he's
if you're gonna go with a charming fucking megastar right now after The Rock, you go with Jason Momoa. Fine, you got it. And it's also just frustrating because now you've got another 6 foot, 8 foot, 12 person that Vin Diesel has to stack up 5 apple boxes, and we have to sit here and believe he's about to beat the shit out of Jason Momoa in any fight scene that they have. I hate it. Like, I would have been completely just fine with it being Charlize Theron because you're not gonna punch her in the fucking face. So I'm like,
right, she's in the background.
Right, you can do like a little a mind fucking villain, make him fuck with Dom's mind. That can cool. But stop giving us these badass motherfuckers that we know Vin Diesel can't whoop. This is a series that I'm already way beyond just suspending my, beliefs and all this shit and throwing away logic and all of that. Out of everything that y'all do in this series, and I'm like, that's amazing. Anytime you make Vin Diesel fuck one of these people up is the most impossible thing in these franchises I've ever seen. So out of everything.
Yeah. More than Rocket Car.
More than Rocket Car, more than leaping cars, flying cars.
Here's some things.
Picking up cars.
I would guess Jason Momoa is fucking ecstatic. Big ass paycheck. About as fun as you can probably have on a set as a big name star, because it doesn't fucking matter. He can just go out and go ape shit.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what they want. But you did kind of give me a little idea that is there's no way. But and strictly because of the people that would say fuck no. But I could see Vin Diesel coming in and saying, okay, Jason Momoa, we're casting you. You're a Hobbs villain. The movie opens with cameras only to his back, Hobbs, and Jason Momoa kills him. And that's how it starts. And they kill The Rock's character. Are there any chances? Because I could immediately see Jason Momoa being like, fuck no. But
right. Especially how close him and The Rock are.
Right. But also, I could see Vin Diesel's like, fuck it, let's kill him. And that could be we go after that's our family. And like they could just do that. And I could just, oh my God, it'd be fucking hilarious.
They're just going to do that just so Jason Momoa can be family at the end of it anyway.
Yeah. I mean,
you killed Hobbs. That's all right. Rescue my other child.
I saw somebody else that was like, oh, this is the other brother. Him, John Cena, and Vin Diesel are all blood relatives.
Oh my God, it's ridiculous. Like I said, I don't know who he's going to play because they haven't plugged anything. They haven't led up to anything, hinted at any other potential threat or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a brand new fucking dude. I don't know.
That's the other thing too. He better not just be a little goon like a Dave Bautista in 007 scenario. There's no way, but...
No, of course, but something. It's like, oh, I was the cousin of the guy that you beat. in Cuba in the race and all type of shit. Like, it's like, what? Like, I don't.
I just hear fucking Jason Momoa, like he's driving a car and he's just like, kick ass,
Right.
something, and you're like, what the fuck are you doing, Jason?
Just driving down the street, woo, fucking
Yeah.
screaming and shit. Like,
Wow.
exactly, my man. It's like, what? Like, I don't even know you should be fighting.
Family.
But I know, because that man, when he goes savage mode in movies, it's like,
Yeah.
whoa. Like, I just can't see it. Like, you see fucking Vin Diesel sitting there all trying to be all buff and chilling,
Doesn't
about
work.
to fight, and then fucking Momoa just sitting like, yeah. Like, this fucking, like, holy
Oh
fuck.
shit.
It's like,
Yeah. If he went like Samoan Savage,
I'll be like, fucking Toretto, run. Like,
he like gets it. He's like,
oh, absolutely. Oh, gosh. I'm like, holy fuck. I'm like, dude,
run.
get in your car and dip. Like, you're not winning this.
God, that's fucking smart,
Like,
man.
None of that shit, bro. Like, why? Oh my god.
Oh god,
You would have to. I'd believe it if he fought Vin Diesel and John Cena at the same time. Then I'd be like, okay, here we go.
Sure.
And like, do that. I believe that.
And
throw in Hobbs. Throw in fucking Shaw if you want to. I don't fucking know.
But also the absolute missed opportunity of having The Rock as Hobbs fight Momoa.
Yes,
that
would have been
works.
Bro, I would have went to the movie just for that shit.
Yeah, if it was a Hobbs and Shaw, I would go see a Hobbs and Shaw too.
Oh my god!
But I think that they're dipping on it because they're bringing Statham in again. Because that's the end of. So.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, very very interesting. But Momoa, sure, love to see it.
What's his car? What kind of car?
He's not gonna have one. He's gonna have a bike. He's gonna have a bike.
Easy to knock him off.
But he's not going to his Fast and Furious. He probably has some fucking, I don't know,
Force field.
Because the man loves bikes, so he's probably gonna have a really badass like Harley souped up bike type
Okay,
shit.
yeah, that's true. He'd be on a chopper, not a
right. Yeah.
Okay.
And just hit that nozzle, motherfucker's gone or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Popping wheelies and shit.
With like a Gatling gun in the front of it, like, yeah, what's up, motherfucker? Like some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, or a truck, but I think more badass.
But that's Hobbs. That's the thing.
Hobbs. Yeah, it'd have to be a motorcycle, like a chopper or some shit.
They'll put wings on it or some shit because he's working with Charlize, and it'll fucking also, but he'll fucking just take off. It's fucking ridiculous.
Right, a fucking sidecar pop out of it. He shows her fucking hop in the shit. Let's fucking go. It just takes off. I'm like, what the fuck? Did that bike just fly? Like, yes, it did. Yes, it did. Oh man. All right. So there's that. Look forward to more info. I'm sure we'll get it as time goes. I'm also surprised Ben didn't make a post about it. Usually he's fucking all on that shit.
It's a little weird.
Much
Welcome-
love.
welcome to the
family. Right? The Phil said, Jason Momoa.
Welcome to the greatest franchise in the world.
Right. He'll lick his lips for like 20 minutes and I just, yeah, it was welcome to. I'm like, okay, dude, get to your point. What are you trying to say?
You know, but Vin's the kind of guy that's like, my fellow superhero, and post a picture of Aquaman and Bloodsport.
Facts.
And people would be like, don't bring up Bloodsport. Or whatever that was called,
He'll
Bloodshot.
have this little ass, like, it was Bloodshot. This little tony ass, like, Aquaman, and then Bloodshot would be in the back, like, my superhero brother.
Welcome to the
fast. It's all about love and family. It's gonna be the next installment. Peace. I'm like, okay.
I did like what Katie said. He said Vin Diesel never got a wrinkle on his white shirt, and that is so true.
Oh yeah,
I would love to see
perfectly pressed thermal, fucking
thermal. Yeah,
absolutely, fucking tanks,
Oh,
everything. They were they were never scratched
Mm-mm.
ever, and that man's been through everything. Never. So I'm like, hey. Then in the last one, what? He had a plain white tee, blowing shit up, rolling over the ground, got up. That shit was spotless.
Yeah.
I was like, heard it. I
Pristine.
need their designer or fucking whoever.
Shit was made by Edna Modes from fucking Incredibles.
Facts. Absolutely. No dirty clothes.
No capes.
No capes. No dirty clothes. The dry cleaning bill is hell. I'm like, okay, got it. All right.
Fantastic.
So that's Fast 10. Now, another lovely little show that we have is Peacemaker. Dropped episode number 5. And it's a doozy. It is a doozy indeed. We found out, a little motley crew of a gang went and found out where they're manufacturing their fucking butterfly's little goo, where they're butterfly deep. And we got to see a nice little cool, just fucking montage of just brain splatting violence of everything. It was great.
It was dope.
It was dope. We got to see some new gadgets. We got to see some characters warm up. Hardcore's finally like warming up to everybody, which was really nice. I like to see that. And then I keep forgetting this bitch's name. Adebayo. Finally saw the truth, about Mern. Thanks to Peacemaker's X-ray glasses. And yeah, man. So that's pretty much the extent of the episode. So let's get into it. What did you think, sir? And we'll go from there.
Yeah, this is definitely my favorite episode so far.
Okay.
Tons of action. It is made from start to beginning, the same thing. From start to finish, it's made to be like everyone will love this episode, like it because it's just a feel good episode, really, with a cliffhanger. So like it is just they were like, hey, if we've lost anybody, this is the episode that will like make people go, oh, I gotta watch again. Because it brings the whole team together by the end. They're all happy and taking selfies, and they got a nickname with their group text.
Slaughter a gorilla.
So that's the thing is everybody, like all I saw was everybody's hinting, oh, there's shit all over this series that Gorilla Grodd is a part of it, and then we have this gorilla,
right?
And he's dead in 43 seconds or some shit.
Yeah. I thought it was Grodd at first. I was like, oh, they're making this Grodd, but I'm like, no, they're not, because that's not what Grodd's character is, not due to some fucking alien. So I think they're just testing it out. I was like, well, his name is fucking Charlie. But no, that gorilla whooped that ass.
But also, because obviously it was great. Economos getting, redeeming himself, coming in with the thing. It was
second time he came in clutch.
But also it is a thing of like, one of the butterflies is like, oh, they're done now, because like the two people get locked in there, and he says whatever, like our guardian angel,
Charlie,
and then he's dead pretty quick. Like it's a little weird. So it's just another one of those like, what is the story? What are we telling here? Because that seemingly was like a boss, and making the.
I just think it was the point just to make that, hey, they can get all organic, whatever the new animals now too, or whatever, doesn't matter. Which led, before that was a great PowerPoint session, which was hilarious, showing how the butterflies can enter asses and faces and all type of shit in the orifices.
Like it's an orifice,
right? Why'd you kill anybody in this mother? Why'd you frame my dad? It was pretty funny, the ad lib there.
I do have to say, I despised when John Cena's just listing off people for like way too long.
Oh,
like not one was funny. Like that is not my kind of humor at all. And then, but
a few names sounds funny.
But I understand that it is James Gunn's humor, because he apparently uploaded an even longer version.
Yeah,
and
I didn't watch it. But
I didn't watch it either, because I wanted to continue to watch the show, and I knew that if I watched that, I would never fucking lay eyes on it again. So, but this is a good ass episode. I like it.
It was really good. I will say it was my first time throughout the show that I was like, your level of stupidity is annoying me right now. And it was with Adebayo. When he's literally just fucking people up, and every time he kills somebody, she's like, ugh, boom, I'm like, okay,
it's not funny anymore.
It's stop. Like, like it's enough.
Because also I'm trying to figure out what they're, because she's Amanda Waller's daughter.
Right. And she placed that fucking diary. Pissed me off. Don't do it, bitch. I just started to like you.
But you go back to the beginning of the show, and she doesn't kill that guy, the security guard outside. I've never shot anybody. And then she blasts the fuck out of Judo Master because he's about to say something.
Yeah.
And so we're like, oh shit, what is she hiding? She's actually a badass, whatever. And then now it's back to completely unexperienced and know what the fuck she's doing with a gun. And so it's like a little back and forth of like, I don't know. I feel like it's not a cohesive character right there because what story are you trying to tell? Because I thought it was pretty obvious that she purposefully stopped Judo Master from saying whatever the fuck he was going to say. So I don't know. It's interesting for sure, but yeah, I'm glad that you at least experienced one of those because it's chock full of it.
Oh, I could, because like I said, I can take humor in multiple ways.
Yeah.
That's just me. But sometimes, like when it's like, okay, that was just that.
She
that
did
made
it
my
like
head hurt a little
4
bit.
times or something.
Yes, and she almost did it again. It's like, fucking chill out. I'm like, dude, all right, now like the gag's too much. Like you're too stupid.
Yeah.
Like it's making me mad now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then like I said, hardcore warming up. I really liked that character getting a little bit more development and actually like appreciating and seeing everyone for their, because they're a ragtag of just fucking idiots. Like they're not the brightest. They're not,
Right.
Yeah, they're smart, but just fundamentally, like outside of like the smarts and nature of your job, you're just like they're fucking losers and idiots. And that's what brings them together. And it was good to see that, I guess, somewhat charming or just like moment to like realize, oh, like this is my crew. Like I can appreciate them and all that for just being a badass. Now where do we go from here is the question. With fucking Adebayo knowing now Miranda's a butterfly.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do with that information? Why is he spearheading a fucking task force to kill butterflies that he is himself one? We didn't get any of the dad this episode, right? Nothing happened with the dad.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it was all that.
Or wait, when was the episode that they figured out the fingerprints were swapped?
Oh, that was this one. Okay.
Yeah, so they're like, so they're going after Peacemaker.
Right, but Mern called in creepy thin dude and was like, "Hey, go handle that shit. Keep him in jail."
But the Asian lady is onto it,
because she's gonna get her judge uncle judge.
Right, that's right.
To figure it out. So yeah, now they're on to him. God damn, they're getting hit from all fucking angles here. But apparently the next 3 episodes are supposed to fucking just blow our minds.
How many episodes are in the season?
Whatever's 3 left. How many do we have?
8,
5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Boba Fett's only 7. Is that right? I think that's what I heard, which is weird.
I think so. This is 5 too for Mando.
Yeah, they're the same week.
Mando. For Boba.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah. Speaking of, Ronan, are you still here? In the chat, let us know. Are you still watching? Say something. Yeah, that's how you feel. Okay.
You know that song?
Of course. I know that song. But yeah, John Cena continues to kick it. I still think 4 still may be my favorite episode so far. Just because even though I love, I'm an action fucking guy, but if you can combine like a character, if you can make a change in a character's whole being for what it's doing to give us more backstory and make me feel something, that's going to take precedence a little bit over more combined with action stuff. But I just think 4 hit me a lot more like, oh shit, like this is awesome. As opposed to this, but this is definitely number 2 for sure.
For me, it's more so like I connected more with the camaraderie of the team. Like watching John Cena act emotional, I just see John Cena trying to act emotional. Like I don't connect with that at all. Oh wow! I will never connect with him at all.
I connected, but also maybe it was the music too that helped me do that.
But
too. I'm sure it was.
Yeah, because you were loving that song. I've never heard that song in my life. So I didn't give a fuck. But yeah, this one definitely is the one for me because this became now they're the C squad of the Suicide Squad. It's like, yeah, you got the A team, you got the B team, and this is the C team. And like, but they're a ragtag, bunch of idiots, but they work together in their team. And so I'm like, okay, I like the camaraderie. But then also she planted that fucking diary, which
that pissed me off.
Is weird. I don't know why she would do that, but
well, I don't
find
know
out
either. Especially now, I guess trying to make Mama happy, and
well, I'm guessing they have to get him back in prison.
That's for you, Ronan. For Ronan only, everybody. I feel like looking up that link. So if you're still on and still watching, you haven't responded yet, so I don't know if you are. But yeah. I finally started to like gel with you and like you or whatnot. 'Cause like I said, her character and everybody was just like always like, I don't know, I'm scared. Blah, blah. I'm just like, okay, girl. But I was finally starting to get like, okay, the bonding, this and that. You still did it anyway. I was like, bitch, I'm just starting to like your ass.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to know what it is. Like, why Waller wants that planted. What's happening. What's going, like, the whole shebang. But I guess we will find out.
We'll find out very, very soon.
We'll find out very soon. All right, let us know what you guys thought about Peacemaker. Are you excited? Do you love the show? Do you hate it? Still need to be sold on? What is it? You only got a few episodes left, so you better make up your goddamn mind. But let us know in the live chat and/or playback if you're watching. Let us know. So, we have a lovely other show that has been taking the world by storm and opening up a lot of just divisive conversations. And that is Boba Fett. But is it Boba Fett? We don't know. Because this episode, this gave us the return of the Mandalorian. And boy, good god damn, did this episode just put a lot of perspective into things. First of all, this episode is fucking amazing. Like,
it's pretty good.
Dear God, I never realized how much I missed Mando until that motherfucker popped up and just, I didn't care. I could watch him just walk through that goddamn Halo shit, little planet thing he was on for 2 hours. I'm like, this is magnificent.
Yeah.
I almost found myself getting a little emo at times just because this was the most polished episode. The music, the
That's
feels,
the thing. I mean, this was the highest budget.
Fuck yeah.
This was it. Can we just I just gotta say, this was so disrespectful.
Very much so.
I mean, they literally. Oh my god, they took. Okay, let's hint at Mando, and then the title character does not show up. We literally have an incredible opening scene. Mandalorian, fucking awesome. He slices that guy in half. He's fucking angry. And then, boom, Book of Boba Fett. And you're like, this is ridiculous. What show? It's not right. So, I don't know.
But that show was... We'll get to it in sections.
Yeah, let's...
I want to talk about that for sure. But there was another gentleman who was a bit of a fan, I want to say, of the show, as well as us. I'd want to say a little bit. Want to bring him on to get his 2 cents about this because I also owe him one, which we'll get to when he comes up. But yes, sir, Ronan, what to do, brother?
What's up, y'all?
What to do,
host of the Syndicate over on Ronan Unchained.
Yes. Absolutely. It's been a while since I've seen your face, brother.
I know, man. You too, man.
Yes, sir. So, first of all,
I'm going to switch us.
Thank you for being here. I want obviously apologize. This man has been trying to get me on the show for weeks, but my schedule fucking sucks.
It's all good.
And I finally got it, and I wasn't able to do it. So, like, listen, come on, brother. Talk about it. And so, yeah, we'll get your 2 cents on this. What did you think about the show. Cause I saw you show in the private chat. Ask this particular question. We'll get to that after. But let us know your thoughts on the episode.
Good God damn! I kept yelling in my head. I'm like, God damn! This episode was so. Oh my gosh! I mean, to say that it is magnificent. It just, first of all, let's get out of the way. Shout out to Bryce Dallas Howard, who for me is 3 for 3. I mean, I know a lot of people weren't crazy about her episode in that season 1, The Sanctuary. I dug it because it was full on Seven Samurai, and you get to see a little bit part of like, can Mando have a life after this with this girl and whatnot? So I dug that. She brought back Bo-Katan and the Night Owls in season 2, and I loved, besides all the eye candy and whatnot, I loved even something like a oneer. We had a oneer in this episode where for like a solid minute and a half,
Beautiful.
Yeah,
no cut, and I was just like,
and it was like, I like that it was a boring, quote unquote, oneer where it's just, hey, let's just
simple.
Yeah, like let's just have him walk around and have it's super complex, so let's just simplify it instead of doing this big crazy CG, action sequence or something like that. No, let's just have a bunch of extras need to be on their shit and have our guy work it. And it was fucking great.
I mean,
it was beautiful.
Someone in that group within Filoni, Rodriguez, and Favreau, someone must be watching the John Wick movies over and over again, because they did that in season 1, where it was like all the bounty hunters got the signal of like the bounty's on again. That's right out of Excommunicado, out of Toulouse. And then the opening for this one, I mean, I got John Wick vibes. I got that fight scene in Old Boy vibes. I mean, and the cool thing about it, even when they were talking, I was engaged with it. The fact that they brought up stuff, we're talking spoilers here. The fact that they brought up the knowledge of like, well, Bo-Katan had the Darksaber, but she didn't earn it. And what does that mean? And even the fact of like cursing it, that you're cursed if you don't fight it. And I mean, I flipped
flashback to Mandalore. I'm like,
yeah,
Jesus
man.
Oh,
Christ.
man, fucking dope.
Oh,
full on James
tears,
Cameron.
Man. Oh,
yeah, man.
Yes, very T2. Very T2. And we brought up, like I said, the opening sequence. We first see, like, right out of the gate, Mando. We see he still has a Darksaber and uses it in beautiful fashion, even though he still has some ways to go. But goddamn, was that beautiful. When he sliced that bastard in half, I was like, oh! Like, when he came out, I screamed to begin with. I screamed and yelled in so much happiness. Like, I just couldn't. So like I said, this episode reminded me how much of just an amazing character Din Djarin is, and greatly missed. And through this episode, we got little sprinkles of just seeing how different and how much he grew. Especially his interaction with the droids, like being happy to see them, like, hey, thanks, little guy, and this, that, like all of it. I'm like, what? And I'm like, still thinking about his son and being reminded of him, and that, free your mind for the saber, but you have so much in your mind. Like, we got a lot of backstory and explanation with him, Mandalore, other characters, why the sword is so hard to control, what you have to do. This was a great setup for his season. And then he got a beautiful, sexy, pimped out fucking Naboo starfighter.
Oh, man.
I don't know how you're going to carry bounties in that. I guess just be killing folks from here on out.
That's what I was going to say is, I got to be honest, does not fit the character at all. I mean, 0%.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. Yeah. Like, it's
a big helmet, big bulky armor, and he has to get in this little cockpit. And pew pew pew, it does not fit the character. He was literally he was in a giant ship. So I
think you just mean the character doesn't fit in that N1.
The physical
is what you're trying to say.
Because even to the point, it's exactly that. I was like, so he's not going to be a bounty hunter anymore? What's he doing?
Well, because he's not a Mandalorian anymore. So maybe
Mandalorian to be a bounty hunter?
No, of course. But I'm saying, I don't think he's a Mandalorian anymore. I think that's also, if he cares about it, I don't know which way it's going to go. That could potentially be what season 3 is about, or at least a good little chunk of it. Trying to get back to Mandalore, trying to reinstate himself as, a Mandalorian, or maybe just be like, you know what, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm here with my son, seeing back and forth. I got this chainmail for him. I'll just be killing people when I need to. I'll take my shit off if I want to every once in a while. Who knows?
So that was my thing. Was I'm actually kind of, obviously, first of all, Armorer, good to see you.
Right.
Emily Swallow.
Also, fuck you, Armorer. You bitch. Let him get some context. Because also, hey, guess what? He told the truth to you. Like, if he obviously is not wanting to be, the faith or whatever you want to call it, his religion, he is with it because he's speaking the truth to you. And she just straight up, well, then you're not a Mandalorian anymore. And he's like, liar? Like, what do you mean? Yes, I am.
Liar.
But honestly, for me, I hope, because they can do whatever they want, really, because it's inferred. Because she's like, you got to go to this thing, and he's like, that's destroyed, and she's like, this is the way. And so it's like, you can infer it as he's going to go figure it out, or you can't. That's it.
Yeah.
You're out. And if that's the case, great, because first of all, fuck that religion. If there's no forgiveness, fuck you. And then second of all, we get to see Din Djarin's face more. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, because that's great.
But may I add that I think, even if you say fuck that lady, that I think she doesn't fully in her I think this is what I'm taking at it, that she does, even her saying that doesn't make her happy, because at one point she tells him the saber suits you better than that the spike, that the staff. This saber suits you better.
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. to the staff. To the fact, and it's me, and maybe because I'm used to what these actors or the doubles are doing with their body language. To me, even her repeating the question, because he didn't respond immediately, which as a choice, I love that he was just like, do I say it or do I
fuck?
Well, yeah, he's sitting there going, God damn it, man, he's fighting with the religion in his head of, am I going to continue with this, or am I going to lie?
And that's the big implication for me, that with the ship or now ship, or even with being in the covert, that he in some form or fashion will probably bring both the old thoughts and the new thoughts, and that's how they're going to approach getting Mandalore again, because like we all said, he's the MVP right now. You don't just banish him forever if you know how valuable he is and how loyal. Because he immediately was like, please, what can I do to atone this? Someone else would have said, F you, I'll go on my way and whatnot.
I would have been like, listen, she's like, well, you're Mandalorian no more. Well, guess what, bitch? I'll hold this motherfucker.
Yeah.
I rule all this. So guess what?
Right.
You ain't no Mandalorian no more.
Right. It's like I'm the Mandalorian.
Right.
I
Mandalorian.
Literally am holding this shit. The person that holds this, if I fought for it, you already said this shit. If I fought for it and I won it, I can rule this fucker.
Absolutely.
You are not welcome.
Right. So guess what? You're banned. You can leave your little sledgehammer making shit.
Like, because
you can do it.
I definitely agree. Like, obviously, she doesn't want to banish him. She's also following the creed, but it's like she could have just said why. Like, what was it? And if he had said, when I was telling, my son ish goodbye, I wanted him to look me in the eyes and actually see that I cared about him and whatever. And it could have been, something. And she's like, well, that's not, an excuse or whatever. But it could have been more of a moment than just like, then bye. Yeah, and it's like, God damn.
Yeah, that's why they had that great conversation with Bo-Katan when we first saw them introduced in Mando season 2. It was like those old ways are like archaic. Like they're straight up strict. Like it doesn't matter. They live and die by that.
And the fact that she knows of her is like knows of Bo.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she's a cautionary tale. It's
like, whew. Like she had to say because it was gifted to her.
Well, and I do think when it comes to the ship thing, it does. First of all, for me, it just seems like they're like, hey, let's give the main character some badass ship. And it just doesn't work because he is slow moving, grungy, like he's a battle guy, he's not swift when he moves. But also for me, it's a thing of I want him to have a team.
Slow. Right.
I want him to have a team of people. I want him, Bo, I want all these people in the ship with them when they're going off, are they all going to pack into Boba's ship when they go to Mandalore, or are they all going to show up separately? Like, I don't know.
I think what's gonna happen is I think this is my flex ship. I think he's gonna get one that he can just park that motherfucker in when he's traveling.
Yeah.
And then he can be like, listen, this is my thing. And then he's gonna have multiple vehicles. Park the N1. All right, cool. I need to be on some speed shit. I need to be in and out. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. I'm out.
I agree.
Or like I said, he has a whole little cockpit out there. He could just stuff somebody in and like, I'm uncomfortable. I don't give a shit. Like, just top off. Like that's when until his son comes, then they're screwed.
Same way Rebels did it with the Ghost Squad. It was the Ghost, and then the Ghost had its mini ship. Even Cowboy Bebop does that. The Bebop is the big chunk, and then you have the Swordfish inside. Then you have Phase ship and whatnot. So I see that he'll use that in his collection, and if anything, for the full out war or take on the Mandalore, he'll be like, we have an extra ship that we can use.
Right. I think that's what's gonna happen because that N1 suits him beautifully. Like that was just beautiful, slick, in and out, fast.
That
like
sequence.
It was glorious.
I disagree.
It felt like watching Iron Man fly for the first time for me. That's the one thing I felt. I'm like, this feels like when I was a kid watching the flight of Iron Man and
It was really, really great. And got a little shout out again. Well, a little peek from I forget the dude's name, but the two Rebel fighters.
Man. But he's the guy. He's playing Uncle Iroh, I believe, in the Avatar show.
Can I also say I'm a little sad because the other guy was the guy that played Luke before they CGI'd over his face.
Yeah.
In season 2.
Oh, I think somebody said that.
And that makes me sad because that means now he can't play Luke, and they're going, if they ever show him again, they're going to do the awful CG face again, where they should have just let him play, but now they can't because
we're definitely about to see that motherfucker.
No.
Huh?
This next episode is not following the Mandalorian anymore. He's going to see Grogu. We don't get to see that shit. We're going to be with Boba.
Oh, man.
I don't know.
This is not his show. If they do that, I will literally, obviously, because that's the thing. We can talk about this because Ronan, I know you disagree.
Yeah.
This episode is great. It's
let's open it up. Yeah.
It is so fucked up. Like the most disrespectful shit because not only is
it's a flex.
Is it the longest episode too?
Yep.
Like
yes, I believe so.
It's like it's 51 minutes or some shit like that. It's got 3 full acts. The budget is much higher than all of Boba Fett
this
has been so
was
far.
So fucking clean, dude. The
cinematography, especially at the beginning, is just incredible.
Yes.
I mean, it is an absolute disrespect to Boba Fett as a character because it literally looks like they even to the point in production they go, hey, we've got some shit story so far. We need an ace in the hole. And they're like, let's just do a Mando episode. Like,
as much as I wish I could disagree, bro, it was a whole flex. Like your best episode, the most entertaining episode, the highest rated episode, the most one everybody's talking about is the one that Boba is not even in.
But they went into it with knowing that because they're like, it's going to be the longest. We're going to bring back the director that's already done shit and succeeded. We're going to give her the most money to do it. Like they knew it going in. And that's so crazy to me because this is literally like, can you imagine if they had given Luke Skywalker a full episode of season 2 of Mando? Because that's basically what, like, oh, he's coming to save him. Like, let's tell the story of how he gets.
That would have been the same thing because Mando was just a badass season to begin with.
Sure,
he didn't need the help.
Yeah, but also it would be as soon as that happened, it would be the only episode anybody talked about anyway. Because it's fucking Luke Skywalker has his own episode. But what do you think, Ronan? Tell me why it's not. Tell me why it's not.
To me, I don't think so. Just because it's the way, I mean, the title hints at that the book of Boba Fett. So with any book, it can be a flashback, it could be a fast forward, it could be something completely different happening in the overall the story. Again, this is just my take. I like to throw it back where it's like in season 2, that was a big complaint from people criticizing it, which I didn't agree with, but I understand where it was like every one episode or another, it was somebody coming up, whether it be, Cobb Vanth in the Boba Fett armor, or it was Bo's episode, or it was Ahsoka's episode, or it was Boba Fett's episode. It was like, whose show is this? I liken it to that. And I think that this is an element that they've let's be clear that they've said it from the beginning. These shows will cross over. There's still going to be its own story, but they will cross over from one another, so it's bound to happen.
Solo.
No, the shows. I mean, the new Disney Plus shows. But
yeah, okay, continue.
And I think that it's a factor that, I mean, I don't like. I like to be optimistic that they're all keeping their foot on the ground, saying that, the season 2 ended. That was a big, huge finale. Let's see how long they can go out without Din, and then let's just try him out with this episode and see how people take him back in. And I mean, I would have thought that by the Q choice of the last episode, that they would have been like, oh, we know that theme already. Yeah. We know it. We recognize it. So we're expecting Din Djarin to return. I think that at this point, yes, this is the most talked out episode out of all of them. It's the most exciting one. It's the most engaging one. Yes, and it doesn't have Boba Fett at all. They reference him, but they don't have him at all. I understand that. But to me, at this point, where we are in Disney era Star Wars, which ain't I like to sing like that. At this point, if you have a plan, if the show doesn't pan out all the way, but you at least have a plan, I'll take that any day of the week of the year. If by the end of the finale, we're like, it was an okay show, it had its planned out plan, it may not have worked for cup of tea. To me, the linear timeline mixed up does take me off a little bit, but I'm okay with it, and I will see it more clear, or be able to define it, or criticize it, or compliment it better once the show concludes. I get where you guys are coming from. I just don't see it that way, and that's all I want to say because of thoughts that they've implicated in this show, and I don't want to spoil stuff for people who either have not seen Clone Wars or have not seen Rebels, and that's all I'm gonna say.
I haven't seen any of them, but I will say this: we're not saying it's a mistake to do so. Right. We're not saying it doesn't go for great storytelling and none of that. It's the fact that Mando just came in here and stunned on Boba Fett shit.
He just stole it.
This is
he stole the season.
Like, we get interconnecting stories and weaving, and we get all that, and we're here for it.
That's what we want.
It's never a mistake. But he came out and just whipped his dick on that table and said, "Look," and like when that shit hit the table, the earth shook. Like that is what happened with this episode, because it's just, let's face it, this show, it's not doing so hot in terms of like appeal.
It's not The Mandalorian.
It's not.
You can tell.
It's not The Mandalorian. And like I said, this one episode through that. And we're not saying here we want it to be because Boba Fett.
Right.
But you still needed,
that's the point,
a show to be like, pull me, grab me. Oh my God, this is amazing because it's Boba Fett.
So that's the thing. So for me, what it is how this episode shows you, we can create a character and have scenes where there's no dialogue, there's slow this, a little bit of that. We're kind of moseying along. It's a slower episode, and we are 100% engaged the entire time.
True.
Because the character was done well.
Yeah.
And you immediately see Boba Fett has not been utilized in that way.
Yeah.
Because we can't handle just sitting around with him, hanging out. It gets boring. We're sitting there going, when's he going to be Boba Fett? And it's because they haven't earned that yet. And then they literally walk in and say, what I'm guessing is the case is, hey, we need Mando for the end. That was always going to be the plan, of course, is Mando's going to come in, they're going to hire him, or whatever it may be, for this big battle so that Boba can take over. And that'll be great. But they're like, we need some badass shit to happen. And it's like, okay, well, he's got too much shit on him, so let's get rid of the spear. So that's one. And then he doesn't have a ship.
Right.
So let's give him some badass starfighter to just take out these fish fuckers, like in a fish in a barrel, literally, and he'll just be and just fucking them up. And so they're like, oh wait, to catch all that up, he needs his whole own episode. And I just think that they could have told this episode in a way to where this whole thing could have been told in 30 minutes and then had 20 minutes of him with Fennec Shand and Boba Fett, and actually made it a Boba Fett episode where it's like, let's catch up with them, and then let's do this. Or just the fact of, hey, you've already been doing the non-linear storytelling,
Right.
bounce back and forth. Like, you know, if you were going to do that, bring the fucker in, the guy that, you know, is the, because I still, the fact that, like, because as soon as it happened, I immediately realized this is why they're calling it the Book of Boba Fett. And it's funny because if you go to The Mandalorian, from day one, it's been chapter 1.
Yeah.
They were treating it like a book. And so I was like, oh, they're calling this the Book of Boba Fett because they're going to continue the chapter thing. And it's like, no, we want to be able to give a whole chapter to someone else. But like, that is not something that actually happens in a, like, you can't spin off and then bring the main guy back for a whole episode and it not be disrespectful. Like,
for me, I'll say this. I love Ming-Na Wen. I thought that her and Tamara were gonna come out, and Fennec would have been like the one in the back, making sure no one is bothering them in this meeting. And then Bob would do like something, I don't know, some Samoan or some Braveheart like a handshake, and be like, "How are you, brother?" Or, you know, whatnot, and like, "I need you, man."
Yeah,
I meant, but again, all your notes are completely valid. It's just from a certain point of view.
What? Because that's the thing. For me, I now have a reason to watch the show.
Right.
Like, it's the episode did exactly what it was supposed to do.
And that's why it's like
I showed
whoever was gone. Shit.
Last Wednesday, my wife saw her first episode of the Book of Boba Fett. I didn't make her watch any of the other ones. There's no reason. Nothing that's happened so far matters at all. I could say, hey, he's about to go to war. We have a Mando episode. I told my dad, who hasn't given a fuck about the show, I said, go to episode 5. And now we can continue, because
I tell you this is the first episode of the show where I'm excited as fuck to see it. Like, waiting for it.
No, what about the Huts? What about Black Chrysanthemum?
What did they do?
Fuck them. I don't care.
They didn't do anything.
I don't
anything.
care. Like, that's what makes it hurtful, because you made Boba Fett one of the original badass characters of just the galaxy or in all of pulp culture. And you have a badass actor like Tamora to play him, and you made him so dull and flat this whole series.
Yeah.
I do not care.
Oh, I disagree.
You're not, and he had no chance to be. He was more badass in The Mandalorian than he was in his own show right now.
Shot. Yeah,
I'm not arguing that.
Getting his ass whooped, and then you're trying to rule by respect, but nobody respects you because you keep letting motherfuckers just run all over you. So I'm like,
that is where I struggle, because the whole show has been people not respecting him, and then you give a whole episode to somebody else,
and then when they don't respect you, you fucking hire them.
Because I got to bring up one other thing too, because you reminded me with, you know, having Tamura is great, but I do not understand, going back to like the first episode, you have characters that wear masks. There were helmets. And the first episode, when he's fighting that big monster, you pause it at any fucking moment. It is a 34-year-old giant man that looks nothing like Tamura, and they didn't do a CG.
One time.
It's that whole
done
scene,
it himself
though.
Ever since.
But here's the thing, though. This whole episode, this Mando episode, was fucking directed fantastically. I will admit, when he shows up to Tatooine and it's the whole ship thing, I did get bored. I don't like that woman, and they're boring.
It's weird. She's growing on me, dude.
Oh no, I can't stand
growing on me.
But
very
then you get to Fennec, and she's like, "Hey," and then she jumps down.
Mingwa, stunt double, Mingwa.
Yes, it is a blatant,
very blatant.
This episode's been directed incredibly, and then you have a character who can wear a helmet, and you don't put her in the helmet and then have a 24-year-old stunt woman.
I thought that was
jump-
Gina Carano jumping down that shit.
Literally, like, it is a
No.
absolute completely different human being, and then you swap
it was
back, and it's like
very obvious.
you could have had her in her helmet, and then had her jump down, and then taken it off out of respect, and been like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Yeah.
And it is the easiest way to not have this issue, and
Or hide it
instead,
somewhere.
have her
that
turn
camera
around and
was
jump backwards.
right there. I was like, wow,
is
y'all are hiding it.
And so,
That
like,
part
literally,
was bad, yeah.
I hate to say it, but I was like, was this final scene shot by Robert Rodriguez? It's like, was that not Bryce Dallas Howard? Because she directed the fuck out of the episode, and then all of a sudden it's a complete afterthought with this one scene where, like, anybody that's directing that would go, oh no, we got to change that because look at how horrible that looks.
Yeah.
And there's
Like
such
that
an easy
straight up.
fix. Just go get her helmet. It's
and
it's
those
right
two
there.
little strings of hair wasn't enough to hide a whole entire face.
I mean, so
At
I don't
all.
know. It was funny though. I just had to point that out because it was like literally from a very fantastically directed episode, and then this blatant issue with directing, singularly just a directing issue. I was like, there's something that doesn't work. Like, it
I was
doesn't
gonna
fit.
bring that up too. But even I'm like, man, no, you can't just jump down boxes. Like that's it.
I don't
You just gotta
understand.
Jump down the
Yeah,
boxes.
they're
You're not
being
doing
real
anything
careful
crazy.
with them.
Yeah, like I know you're in your 60s, but you don't look it and you don't move like it when you do your action scene. So just drop down.
And other question. Oh, go ahead, Ronan. What you got?
Let me ask you this. Take away Din Djarin in this episode. I just want to hear this. Yeah, Tamara Morrison, Boba Fett is not the savage one that we saw in that fight episode where they kidnapped Grogu. Fine. He's not that. He's evolving to this crime boss who, for better or worse, that's where this is going, and I'm intrigued to see how it's going to play out because I've dug the whole walking into a place and just making sure everything's okay, and then him studying the rules and whatnot. Yes, people keep bugging him and whatnot, but let me ask you this. The lore growing out of this, that a bounty hunter going down this way, that, I mean, they've said it, it's harder. It's a harder life to run something than be a gun for hire. Have you dug that element, or is it just the placement and the character where they've taken him? Because I've dug, to me, anytime we are in the club, the sanctuary, where Jennifer Beals, Twilight character, runs the joint, anytime we're there, I have a Joker grin. I'm like, let's see what's happening
I hate
here.
Oh, that's so weird. I cannot stand going into that place.
Oh.
What do you think, John?
I don't mind. Like I said, I'm all for Boba taking the reins of Tatooine, being ruler, all of that. I'm for all of that. Walking into a bar, making sure everything's good, state your claim, be out. I'm here for all of that.
His
But
execution.
it means nothing
Correct.
when nobody respects you, when nobody
Right.
fears you. When
Okay.
every time you say, I'm Boba Fett, someone punches you in your face and whoops your ass and just walks down the street. I'm like, all right, I'm cool. Yeah, I just whooped Boba Fett's ass. Yeah. It's like, doesn't he rule this place? He's supposed to. Like, it's
Yeah.
like,
Not well.
that's what's killing me. So that's why I liked episode 4 so much, because we got it in a flashback where he's ruthless and badass and taking no shit. I'm like, there's Boba Fett. Why can we not get this now? And there's plenty of crime bosses that show face in public, like, yeah, I'm chill, I'm cool, but when I need to put my foot in your ass,
Right.
I put my foot in your ass. And that has not happened.
That's the problem, is the whole thing has been the Godfather,
Right.
but there have been no consequences to anyone that has fucked him over.
Oh, yes,
like-
there is. You get a job.
Yeah, right.
what
I
happens.
mean, literally, unless
You whooped
you
my ass?
are
Don't work
literally
for me.
goon number 1 and number 2, like the two guys that, because he rocket launchered that one guy, and then they captured the guy,
Yeah.
and that was a very quick little thing in the next episode to get rid of him. But that the thing is the execution of, for Ronan, that question you asked. Like,
Yeah.
I am down for a character starting an evolution and saying, like, no, I'm going to start to change ways. I want to rule now, things like that. Problem is that
Right.
it wasn't earned from the get-go of episode 1 of this show, that went back and forth between before Mando season 2, where he was a savage, and after Mando season 2, he's been this respectful guy. And where's the arc? Because it's just, for this show, he's hanging out with the Tuscans and he's being respectful and he's doing all this. And then in Mando season 2, he's an absolute fucking savage, and he's like, I want my armor, and he's going and like fucking hitting people with the stick.
Oh yeah,
and
all
that kind of stuff. And so it's just been the execution of, we haven't seen a true arc.
Mm-hmm.
And also the thing of, which I will admit, Mando kind of is this character, but what John was saying, where I'm down to lead with respect, let's do all that, but if you cross me, if you do, like, he has not led an example. There has to be like a level of fear. You don't get respect without fear.
Right.
And that's just, I mean,
especially
period.
in that business. And he has
right.
Like,
because that's the thing is,
even his name doesn't hold anything anymore. It's like Jesus.
Because like Ronan, what you said is how, it's harder to be a ruler than a gun for hire. But the problem is, he runs the gun for hire. Like, he still is the gun for hire. Like, you have to have that power, because that's Jabba the Hutt. He was the guy that sent bounties out on people for money. And so you have to have that Godfather aspect of everybody's fearful to betray you because of what will happen to them.
Right.
And so it hasn't worked very well for me. And but also, this is sad, but I think once Din comes in, because he is someone who does that duality of massively respectful and then bang, I'll just blow your head off. Yeah. And when he talks to Boba about it, I feel like they could have dialogue that takes that arc, and you start to realize, when Boba starts to realize, well, I was more like you, and then now I'm trying to do this, and here's why, or here's this. Because that's the thing, is we haven't had a reason as to why. He's just decided. And also, he's going to have a full out war now, because he hasn't been, menacing.
He's been trying to avoid it. Yeah.
And so it's like,
right.
You're, instead of giving us tidbits throughout, now he has to have this big war and possibly have everyone die for him.
Have to be shed, bro. But it's just too little, too late.
So yeah, I mean, and then when it comes to like what you're saying about the little cantina place, I can't stand that place, because I just feel like it doesn't fit in at all. I mean,
every place has a cantina. I like it.
Well, but that's the thing though, is when Mando goes to his bar, everybody kind of is on edge.
Oh,
when Boba walks into that
Elysium
place,
Halo planet, yeah.
When Boba walks into that place, no one even looks at his ass.
Yes.
And the woman that runs it walks over to pretend to be respectful, because she actually is the one that's running that city. I mean, that's kind of the point that they're showing, is everybody listens to her.
Right.
They do what she says for him.
Hire the goddamn Lollipop Guild. It's not really putting much fear in people. It's like with these bright ass Jolly Ranchers.
Black Chrysanthemum, y'all kicked his ass, and now he's part of the team. Like,
no, he kicked his ass and then said, "Hey, come hire me. I'm gonna come work for me."
Well, but
you need a job.
He was naked in the bath. I mean, it's not like he was ready.
So what? So what?
But yeah, shit. I mean, this episode though, it's funny how they did it, because I told
interesting.
I told multiple people, you can start watching now. Yeah. And that's
very true. That's the high point of the series. That's not even Boba's episode.
Yeah, because all of a sudden it's like, oh, what we actually care about is tying in. Okay, cool. And it's because what they've done is the execution hadn't been well, because I will be the first person. I've said this from the get-go. Season 1 of Mando is not that great for me. It is not that great. Way too many side missions. It's got a story it's trying to tell, and it will have a story episode and then 1 to 2 side missions, and then kind of continue. And it's not that great. Season 2 is much better, even though I do have problems even with the finale of that when it comes to Luke showing up. But it seems like they didn't learn any lessons for Book of Boba Fett from season 1 and 2 of Mando, because this has issues straight from the story and the script that they should have saw from a mile away.
And execution.
And I think that this Mando episode should prove to all of them what they've been doing wrong, and that's make us love the character before you try to have him sit there and be all quiet and us be engaged. Because like, unless you're like Ronan, you from the get-go, you've been like, I'm down for whatever's about to happen. Like I'll listen to whatever it is. I need you to earn that shit. and you haven't yet because you were the savage, and I from the get-go said, you're not a lead character. You're a great side character, and prove to me why you need to be a lead. And he has not. And this episode proved that tenfold.
The minute the episode ended, I knew. I'm like, oh boy, here we go.
The fact that he didn't even show up is crazy.
Yeah, I knew it. The people would be like, this is amazing.
Yeah, man, that silhouette popped up. I was like, oh!
I still think it's so like, because here's the thing too. Okay. Dope part. Logo hits. I was like, that's weird. Book of Boba Fett. But the music.
The music was great.
Mixing Boba's theme, because Boba's theme is still the best part of this whole series. And until he starts going,
until it starts fucking crazy, until all that shit.
But mixing his theme, because it's Ludwig, doing both, so he can mess with all that shit, and mixing Boba's theme with Mando's theme. I can't wait for the soundtrack for this episode.
I looked and it's taking its sweet ass goddamn time
because they usually do them in bunches. So it probably won't.
Just release this one and then bunch the rest out.
It probably won't until it's over because it's only 3 episodes. So but I'm excited to hear that shit again. Also, the only Boba Fett episode I've watched twice. So that should also tell you something.
That's true, and it's the only Boba episode I've watched other people's reactions to.
Yeah,
so there's that too.
Because there's been nothing else that's happened in the show.
Besides looking at Boba in a tank.
Boys, you guys are killing me with this.
What's a moment in this show that was reaction worthy?
The Black Chrysanthemum introduction with the huts.
He just walked up. They're boring. They're just sitting there.
Yeah,
here's the thing. This is where I find it interesting of how people take it, because I remember hearing this from John and Dave, that when they pull something from the comics or from an Easter egg or something like that, or a reference, that the hardcore fans will get it and that's their gold star. But for regular fans who are casual fans, that'll be just a new cool thing for Star Wars. And I find it where it's where do either casual fans take it onwards, or where do hardcore fans take it onwards, whether they change stuff or not. And something like even like the Pikes, seeing them in the train and someone doing a sniper shot, I immediately recognized it was the Pikes, and I got giddy about it just because they are background stuff, creatures that are part of the crime world and whatnot, and I just got giddy about that. The fact that the fact, this is weird, and I love that. The fact there was a Rhodian kid in this train, got me giddy and whatnot. They're simple, so it's weird with me. I like the big grand scope stuff, and even something as a background character, I will be like, give me a novel of that character. I want to see where that's about.
See, we're talking about different things then, because like that is like moments of like, okay, as a fan, I appreciate this. Like I get that shout out, got the Easter egg.
It sounds very easy to please you.
Well, just not that, but just like
I mean,
the fact of we're talking about like what on the show so far was like, holy shit, this just happened. Like that was an amazing scene, like badass. Talked about not like this character's awesome, they brought him in cool. Like what moments could you say? This episode was full of them.
The Rancor did what?
Rancor doing what? Just
they bring him in and being like, he's gonna train with the Rancor. The fact that like
so boring.
Sir, that is not a moment like that is.
He's petting his pet rhino. That's nice and calm.
That's like saying, I'll give you an example. So
go for it.
And what we're gonna say, and what I'm trying to get out of you here. Endgame. Take your pick. You have the portal scene. That's gonna be talked about. Whatever. And you go to somewhere like, oh shit, like you remember that one time? It was good to see Tony Stark sitting in the donut. That was great.
Yeah.
It's like that. Right. I mean, like, which ones are you? This is what I'm looking for.
But even to the point of like, I'm more so talking
about call outs that were like,
like, because it's execution. So like the Black Panther thing, I did not know that character prior.
Right.
And so I don't even know how badass or cool he is in the comics. My thing is, he's not badass in live action.
Yeah.
He is not. It's the execution. You can bring a character or
have arm off.
Of a normal ass guy. I mean, I don't know. So that's the thing is, bringing in the Hutts. I was like, oh, that's interesting. What's going to happen there? Oh, they're just going to come back and say never mind and leave. Completely wasted.
Right. Oh, man. Oh, by the way, here's this bastard. Take him.
Also, we don't want him back. Your bargaining ship, we don't want him back, and we'll give you this because for no reason. We're not afraid of you, but we just don't want to lug him back to where we're from. So we'll just let you have the Rancor and Machete.
Right.
But and so that's really been the thing for like Black Chrysanthemum especially. I think that they really thought that was an ace in the hole, and he has not landed with anyone but comic readers.
Listen, they could be saving him for Amy Sedaris. You never know, she likes big furry things. That could be the next power couple.
Book of Boba Fett After Dark.
Right. That could be the newest power couple right there.
But yeah, I don't know. It's really like Black Chrysanthemum, especially like if anybody brings him up, he has not done anything worthwhile.
But you have great side eye.
And
looks,
he looks cool. Yeah. And that's it. And I hate that because it's interesting that you have like he's like stood out to you because it's interesting to me. But you're seeing his whole thing, his whole story, I guess, from the comics and whatnot. But
that's the issue for the show, and that's a perfect example. I'm glad we brought that up. Like a character like that, and what is predicated on Boba Fett and Boba Fett himself is a show. You're telling me that these characters are badass, but you're not showing me.
Yeah.
Like
they're demanding respect.
They're like, oh shit,
and not getting it.
Right, and the diehard, like the deep cut fans, I wouldn't say diehard, like the deep cut fans are like, oh, he's a badass, he's amazing, just his presence is great. Why? Because I've just seen him side-eye me for like 2 hours, and I don't know what the fuck's going on. So I was like, and that's the same thing to do with Boba. You want me to believe he's this badass person, but you're not showing me anymore. You did it in somebody else's show, but for right now, you're just showing me get his ass whooped, have fucking peace meetings, and hire people that are whooping his ass. I have no idea what you're giving me here. So it's a lot of expectation versus execution, and I want execution, so then I can be like, oh shit.
I will say I do fully now, especially with the Mando episode, I fully expect this season is put together similar to WandaVision, where at the beginning you're supposed to go, I mean, I like the people, but what's happening?
Going on? Yeah,
and
I heard
WandaVision was just more entertaining.
But it's because they're more developed and more liked, actors and characters. So you can take 2 black and white episodes that are funny for the 50s and 60s and go, okay, that was weird, but what's next? Whereas for Boba Fett, a lot of us are going, you haven't earned us to be a little bit bored. Like you need to entertain the hell out of us for us to keep watching. But I do fully expect, because they said it from the get-go when they were making WandaVision, when they first announced it, is like, it'll start out
these first 3 episodes
as a sitcom, and it will become a Marvel epic. And I think that this will become a Star Wars epic. And it will be action-packed.
Now, because they got Mando.
And, but even just, because we're obviously leading to Boba Fett riding a Rancor into a bunch of Pike soldiers and just wiping them out. But that there, the look of that, as of right now, sounds janky and laughable. Because Boba is old, and he's just going to be fucking holding on to this crazy fucker, just running
like a
full blast.
Man.
Oh my god, don't even get me stop. With his fake ass teeth. I just
damn, I had to come for the man's teeth.
He has veneers in or something.
But I at least appreciate this, because at least you guys, even though it's been like driving you nuts, even though you've had fun with it, that you're still willing to try it on a weekly basis.
Oh yeah.
And not just damn it to hell. That's what I love about you guys, that within Mando season 1 and 2, Favreau and Filoni has shown you the cards to be like, listen, we're gonna try stuff. It may not land for everybody, but in the overall perspective, we got something down the pipeline, and we have 2 seasons of a show to show for it. So I at least appreciate that, even though we have points of views that you guys would be like, okay, let's what's next? What's gonna happen in 4 hours?
I was withering away. I will say I was withering the fuck away. But of course, Mando came in and resuscitated my ass greatly. And that makes me look forward to these other episodes going forward.
This is the first A episode. Like if you're gonna give them A, B, C, D, this is the first guaranteed A.
Yeah.
I think episode 4 was a B. And then the other ones, I think were less than that. Yeah. So we're moving.
Can't wait to see Grogu tonight.
I do not. That's a good question. So that's what I inferred wholeheartedly that she said, "Hey, we need your help. Can you come help us?" And he says, "Yes, but I'll be right back." And I don't think we're going to follow him. I think we're going to be sitting here with Boba, and Mando will come in for either the end of this episode or the finale. And
because they wouldn't tell us that. They wouldn't set that up not to give us some kind of payoff for that. We're going to see.
You don't think so?
Because
this is not his episode. Like, this is not his show.
Oh no, it's not a show. But we'll get that, and then we'll come back to Boba Fett, and we'll finish that shit out.
I will wholeheartedly say, if we follow Din Djarin to see Grogu in this series,
we're not gonna follow. What I think is gonna happen, we're gonna open with some like fucking scenery type shit, and then fucking Grogu's gonna pop out of nowhere, and he's like, "Hey, big," like they're already there already, and then we'll give the whatever, and then we'll head to Boba, and then shit will go crazy. That's what's gonna happen.
God, I'll be honest, I don't think I'll like it. I think it's so disrespectful. It is not the story of the show. This is the book of Boba.
I don't care. I want my Grogu, damn it.
The leader. I want
to see my baby.
Because I never want to see Luke again, ever, in anything. Because he was so poorly done, and he just swooped in and saved the day when that was not the story at all.
I'm getting a little dramatic on that.
And I like. That's what's so funny is what Mando just did to Boba is what Luke did to Mando.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he came in and stole the season. Period.
I wouldn't go that far.
Season.
No,
that's very dramatic.
You're gonna tell me
the season.
You're gonna tell me that when people are thinking of season 2, they're thinking of Grogu sitting on the rock scenes.
No. I think
they're thinking of a lot of shit for season 2. Yes, that's the biggest, but that's not still the show.
But you're going to tell me they don't immediately think of the finale.
No, to me, John, let me say this.
The finale is not the best episode?
That's up to debate. Because, for example, Bryce Dallas Howard, I really dug that.
I hate that episode from her in season 2. I think it's a terribly done episode. It's awesome because it's got Bo-Katan in it, and that's the only reason.
Okay, but which one did she do?
If you take that out, it is actually not a very good episode as a story. As a singular episode, it is not a good. It's not a good episode, and so obviously up for debate. But that's where I come in, and we had the frog people, we had the spider episode, which was exciting, right? But like,
and shit, even if you were to make the argument, at least Mando was in the motherfucker.
That's like, no, you're not wrong. But the point of what I'm saying is, we were all super excited to see how the fuck is Mando going to get the Darksaber? How is he going to defeat Moff Gideon? How are they going to get out of this situation? It was like we were going to a war. And the answer was they're going to lock themselves in a room and Luke is going to show up and clean house. That's it.
It was called The Rescue. It was the title, called it The Rescue.
And that's the point, is this was the return of the Mandalorian in the book of Boba Fett. This wasn't the return. This was his own show. This was prologue to season 3.
Oh shit!
Meanwhile,
especially the finale, you didn't put this bitch in the middle of it and was like, "Here, save us." This was at the very end. Like, here's no nugget for you.
I prefer it in the middle.
Oh, I prefer it. Hell no! You did not put Luke. So dude, that's a finale material.
But I do fully agree with in season 2. Although I think it's great, it was who's going to show up in this one? Who's going to show up in this one? Who's the character poster that's going to be for this episode? That's what everybody was saying.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying that.
And I look forward to it. Yeah, of course.
Which I understood, but it was in the context of a story going forward.
And still, it didn't take anything away from Mando from me.
Yeah.
This takes everything away from...
You're right, but also season 1, they learned, hey, we haven't done this very well. We need him to interact with people and be executed in a good way to where people care. So we need to bring in stars. We need to bring in, for the diehard fans to care about this guy, we have to bring in someone they recognize and have them interact and have it be good. And then we'll move on and do it again. And by the end of that season, we are obsessed with the Mandalorian. And that's the key, is it was greatest hits along the way. And then
I think it was a mix of both.
We got Bo-Katan, Boba Fett, and Luke Skywalker in a Mandalorian season. If that's not...
And Ahsoka.
And Ahsoka. Yeah. And so, I mean, if that is not... And that's the thing, too. The first episode is the best episode for me of season 2. And we never got anything like it. We got a fucking
That
IMAX
scale
aspect
was
ratio.
ridiculous, yeah.
I mean, we
Yeah,
never
that
saw
was
that
good.
again.
That I'm
And
mad they did not bring that back because I was
it's
like, this
yeah.
is gorgeous.
It was
Yeah.
fucking Jon Favreau directing. I mean, and you could tell.
It's weird because I'll say this. I think I'll never say this before. I think if the show had not gone all these characters from different parts of the universe, I think it would have still been a good show
Oh, for
because
sure.
I cared about an Ugnaught just saying, you know, I have spoken. I was
Right.
crushed. When,
Correct.
spoilers, he died.
Oh yeah.
At that time, before Twitter interactions and all that stuff going on, Cara Dune, I was going for and be like, okay, what's up with this character?
Sure.
I am with you and whatnot.
Yeah.
So the fact that they
absolutely.
yeah, so up to that point, just those characters and Grief Karga and Carl Weathers, I was okay with. I was content and be like, this is good enough for me. Perfect.
Yeah.
The fact
and
that
I
they
think
brought
a lot of people did, but to his point, that it definitely helps. Like I say, it's a combination of both.
Yes.
Because the show's gonna be
Yes.
successful and the people are gonna love them regardless. But it does help when you put them together with these legacy characters. I was like,
Yes.
holy shit.
It enriches it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think I'll say this about the finale. To me, and you can go back and watch my reaction. I freaked out when I knew it was Luke. I freaked out. But I cried. I didn't cry for Luke. No. I cried
Correct.
when Mando and Grogu parted ways and he took off his
Damn,
mask
sure did.
because I knew how much that meant
Correct.
and what that meant for that. That's what I always tell people, that like people just think of like, oh, Luke Skywalker in season 2. I'm like, no. This is about Mando and Grogu. This is a lone wolf and cub story.
That shit hit me more than Luke did, yeah.
No, of course. So
Yeah.
that's the thing is, when I watched the episode, I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. And then I watched it again and I was like, we barely get, I was like, this is kind of weird that they just let this character with no development for Mando come in and steal the show. But obviously their moment at the end is still great. Like that's the key to the whole series. But my point is,
They can balance.
that's correct. This has zero balance.
Yeah.
That finale had more balance. They did not have to write this finale or the end of this series and change things of Mandalorian. They could have had the show and had him come in and help and been who he was and not had, well, you're not a Mandalorian anymore. We're going to get rid of the staff and we are going to get you a new ship. They could have had him come in and interact with the characters, and it have been awesome to see Mando as a side character to our new leads, because that's the story that we're telling. And instead, they said, bring the star in. It's like Kobe coming out. Kobe started when he was in his final season. Kobe started every time if he wanted to. He was probably not supposed to be. Same thing with MJ. Go to the Wizards. He was old, obviously it's still Kobe and MJ, but like you have that. And they're like, hey, we actually, like, he's been injured, but he's back in the roster. Give him the ball every time. And it's like, well, no, they've been doing all right. And it's like, nah, fuck everything we've been doing. Yeah. Give him the goddamn ball. We're running the play every time for him. And it's like, it's a Linsanity. When Carmelo came back and they're like, hey, Linsanity's over. And Jeremy Lin's like, why? And it's like, well, Melo's back. And he's like, we've been winning. We haven't won any fucking games. And they're like, but Melo's back. And he's like, what do you mean? And guess where Jeremy Lin went? Like 5 other teams, because nobody fucking wanted him after that. And that has literally been Boba Fett.
Yeah.
He's gotten his own show. They just handed it to him, said, hey, do what you can. Mando came in. Nobody gives a fuck anymore. Throw him back on the bench.
He came and was like, where's my water boy? It's like, what?
Where's my water boy?
Well, he's over there in Tatooine, sir. I was like, well, keep him over there.
Because that's the problem is, as of right now, I can't see Mando like telling or Boba telling Mando what to do. Doesn't work for me right now, because that's not what was happening in season 2.
I think they'll work in tandem to just be like, okay, cool, let's do this.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing. If he has it to where Boba Fett is like, Mando, go do this, da da da. He's like, yes, Boba, or whatever the fuck. I'd be like,
right, because that's what Mando was doing to Boba in season 2.
Yeah, because Mando was like, this is my shit. I know you Boba Fett, but guess what? There's a new Mando in town.
Like, hey, like you're like you're staying in the ship. I mean, like,
and he stayed his ass in the ship. I was like, "Where's Boba Fett?"
like,
There was a few times.
I don't
Like,
know.
where's Boba Fett, bro?
Because here's the problem too. I hate to say this, but it is true.
Hmm.
The ending of this season is going to be great with Boba riding this fucking Rancor, and it's going to be super legendary and all that kind of stuff. At the end of the day, one of these fish people could get in a ship and kill that Rancor with one shot. So that's where you have to make this work.
The Smaug syndrome.
Because yeah, I mean, it's literally like,
or the route this shit is going, Boba will be riding the fucking Rancor,
and Mando's
gonna come in.
That's
the
what I was gonna say.
And it's like, he's riding the Mythosaur.
Yeah. Or just like at the end, Mando's gonna be like, "Well, I'm not really doing much. Fight me for that throne, and I'll kick your fucking ass."
Just for fun.
like, just takes that Darksaber out and it's like, "Get out of the seat." And like,
or they'll do the ultimate.
Nothing's
flex.
Stopping him.
Right, he'd be like, "I called in some reinforcements." Then fucking Luke and Ahsoka with fucking Mando, and they have like a standing pose shot.
Oh my god!
As the sun sets behind them, get ready for war, and everyone talks about that, and Boba's just like,
"Thank God!" Like,
he's gonna walk up to everyone. "Don't you know who I am?" They're like, "What?" Like,
I got family.
No. Luke's gonna be like, "Didn't we kill you back in?" Like, who's this?
I did see somebody say if we follow Mando to go see Grogu, because that's the other thing too. Do people think that he's picking Grogu up?
No,
I don't think so. No.
So okay, because that's what I've been seeing people online. They're like, "Oh, he's gonna put Grogu in the back of that ship, and they're gonna be together again."
Not yet.
No,
not yet.
He's going to see him to say, "Hey,
yeah,
I made this for you. I still love you, and I'm out again. Continue your training."
He's like, "Hey, just wanted to bring you lunch."
Just exactly.
Right. Yeah,
you forgot your coat.
Yeah,
but
keep doing good in school.
Jesus Christ. Forget I came, and don't cry when I leave.
Right.
When your mom comes halfway through the day and like, "No, you're supposed to take me out of class." It's like, "No, go back." It's like, You just came for lunch?
Right. Like, yes. You forgot your coat, honey. It's cold outside. Those lightsabers are sharp. Here you go. His little chainmail fucking Beskar.
It's fascinating that you said you don't want to see Luke in it, and I'm in the mix of what I don't want to see him, and yet the idea of Mando being like, "All right, well, my covert abandoned me, exiled me. I don't know how to wield a saber, but I noticed you know how to wield that saber. Teach me your ways. That I'm going to our ancient rivals to learn how to fight a certain way." That's one way they can go about it. I don't know how I feel about it within the context of what they're going to do either tonight or next week's finale. But that was just an idea that popped once he got excommunicado.
But it won't be.
Yeah.
Well, so that's the thing. So obviously that makes sense in a lot of ways. Like story-wise, it's just not his show.
Right.
So I look at it and I say,
that'll be next season.
First of all,
Mando.
I see Luke as a movie character. I mean, or he gets his name on the fucking billboard. Like Obi-Wan Kenobi gets his own show. He's not popping up, gets his own show. When it comes to the saber, I think it would be smarter because it will at least bring back the beginning of the show, and it was so stupid. But Boba should grab his fucking staff and say, "Here's how you wield something like that." And he puts his heart into it, and like, this is, the stick, I made it with my soul. I went and found it with this fucking bug in my head and shit. Whatever the fuck that was. Yeah. But I could see him Mando getting trained by Boba.
That would be a cool dynamic.
Use that
on how to wield a lightsaber.
Yeah, because it's you don't know how to wield it with your soul, and that's kind of what they've been trying to do with Boba here.
Spiritual,
yeah.
Gotcha. Now I see.
Because at the end of the day, the true answer is, hey, we just added this, and no other characters have had a problem wielding that. And the real answer is, you don't have the Force, and it's a lot easier to wield that fucker.
All right. Well, Moff was having issues too.
And
this is where I don't want to talk about Rebels,
though,
because
that's what I mean. Is Darksaber's all over the place with random people, and I mean, when it was initially introduced, it was just some random Mandalorian, and he's
wielding
that fucking...
Do you think he's gonna pop up to like, "Hey, you have some midichlorians in you, or you got some force shit in you.
Oh,
he's gonna be
That's
the
not
next
story.
Mando.
That is, I
He's
would
gonna be the next
absolutely
Mando
hate
Jedi.
that's already, they're doing then if that's the case, they're doing exactly what they did to ruin the sequel trilogy, and that is keep him a nobody, make a nobody a somebody without superpowers. It's very doable. You've already done it. Let him, don't give him the force, give him heart, because
that was cute.
I mean, it's not it's not hard. You've already done it. Like, as soon as if you just, that's why with like everybody wanted Finn to be a Jedi. No, Finn was he was supposed to, lead a rebellion of stormtroopers, and that was the beauty of that.
Yeah.
He is a better version of what Boba's been trying to be until they fucked it up in Rise of Skywalker. He was slowly becoming a leader to lead these people that he fucked over. And he used to be. And exactly. But, I do not want Din Djarin to have, force powers. I don't want him to be force sensitive.
No.
I want him to be a man that learns to be capable to wield a lightsaber.
No cheat codes.
And leading a planet. I like that.
Braveheart style.
That is dope.
I'm with that.
And then Boba can just stay over here in this one city in Tatooine and just be like, "This is what I earned. This is what I earned."
Right. That's
Lord.
We'll pop by and say hi. Like, we're gonna go see Uncle Boba, Grogu. You're excited? He's like, okay. And that's about it.
So what did they make for Grogu? You think it was just a chain?
A chainmail, fucking.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The Frodo thing that they gave him, the silver thing went out. Yeah.
To block.
I think it's like a little plate thing, or like
wrap
around. Yeah. I think that's what he did.
That's gonna be adorable.
I don't know what else you would make with chainmail for that, unless they give him like a fucking old school
helmet,
like fucking drape to the side fucking chainmail.
I saw somebody made one where he had a Mando helmet, but the ears
with the
come
ears.
Out, and then somebody walks up with two lightsabers and just sink and just cuts his ears.
Right, I was like, that doesn't work. But yeah, we'll see. But I think it's just a chainmail throw over. Like, there you go, badass.
But I honestly, I do think, for me personally, I would like it if we don't follow Mando at all on his own journey anymore. He goes and sees Grogu, drops that off, says, hey, because for all we know, he's already been there a couple times. We don't know. I mean, really. And then when we pick back up with season 3, we get to see that they've developed off screen in, some capacity. Obviously, Grogu will have it if we see him at all, but having him, show up, be a Jedi in training, but also have some Mando stuff on, like, that would be pretty cool. And also keep this story going on Boba, because even though this episode was great, just to go back around at the beginning, massively disrespectful to just hand an hour to a bigger character in your own series. That's kind of rough. So I don't know. I would like to think they won't do that again.
Next time we see Grogu, is he speaking?
No,
I doubt it.
Not for me.
Maybe like one word at the end of the season.
Or is he just still saying, dude?
Yeah.
Hey, Grogu. Dude. Like, okay, got it.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to do that forever because it's so fucking adorable.
No, I agree.
Just say that.
Yeah.
It should take him, 100 years or something to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you could not say your first word until 150. If you're that's
insane.
Race.
Jesus, right.
He's 50. Yeah, it's crazy,
it's crazy
right?
to think of. You can't talk till you're 200 years old. What?
Yeah.
That's a lot of
he's helpless
years without speaking.
For 200 years in terms of size and everything. I mean, he's just a little baby.
He just throw motherfuckers around. Get on my face.
Well, he has to get real mad.
Yeah.
And he had training.
Yeah. That's true.
So
yeah, and then they stopped this, and I was getting it again. So we'll see. We'll see.
Because the other thing, though, that people were saying is how, the armorer does say, hey, if he's working with the Jedi's rules is no,
connection.
Attachment. But Luke, I feel like, is kind of, he could be a grayish Jedi at this point and be like, no, like, you need to have your people. Like, he has Leia. He had Han and he had Ben. You know, he
Yeah.
wanted to take Ben.
We're gonna see a young Ben.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
Sadly,
Finn Wolfhard as Ben Solo.
I wouldn't be mad.
I mean,
I wouldn't be mad at that.
I would be mad that we're seeing that at all, but that if we're gonna have that casting, that's probably
that's a good casting in terms of that.
that could probably work. He doesn't have the nose, does he?
He can grow into it.
Their noses are a little weird.
He's hit puberty.
Yeah,
Right.
He's a great actor.
When he gets older, it goes. Yeah, he is. But we'll see. We'll see, man.
I'm excited though. I'm actually very excited for this next episode. I want to see
3 hours, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. We'll see. The only time I've been excited. Only time I've been excited. And that sucks to say. But whatevs. But all right. I think we can go on about all night about this.
Mm-hmm.
But
fun to talk about this episode.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. That's a first.
Come on.
Anyway, good sir, Rona, before we let you go, man, let the people know where they can find you and what you got going on, man. And we thank you again for coming on.
Yeah,
thank you, my friend. Thank you. It's always fun chatting with you guys. We'll be seeing each other soon to see what happens after 4 hours, how that's going to go for both of us. But for people, you guys can find me on YouTube at Ronan Unchained, on Twitter. I'm doing right now Book of Boba Fett, Peacemaker, the Syndicate podcast is underway, and I have some iron in the fire for another franchise that Logan and I are big fans of, and I think John might be a big fan of. And when stuff comes to the news and we start seeing stuff, we might play it out. But just know that I have iron in the fire. There's another big franchise that I'm excited to break down the lore and see how stuff is going to be presented, and that's all I want to say.
So he's playing armorer, putting the metal in the fire.
That's Scar.
Literally.
Right. Letting that shit cook. Got it. But all right, brother. Well, like you said, go. Y'all make sure to give him a follow. Check out the Syndicate. Check out his work. He's an awesome dude. Y'all already know this from past episodes. You just go over there and see it for yourself. So go show him some love. We highly, highly appreciate it, and we thank you. Sir Ronan, always a pleasure, man.
Thank you, my friends. Always an honor and pleasure.
Yes, live long and prosper.
Okay.
That's copyright.
Wrong franchise?
Yeah.
Right, exactly. But take it easy, brother. Enjoy your night.
See you guys. Thanks.
Oh, shit.
That was funny.
Yeah, it was.
Live long and prosper, huh?
Live long and prosper, man. Live long.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to type that out. There you go. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of people find that really hard to do.
Did you see the one where it's a horrible thing, but it was saying if you're able to you have to have your hand in a fist, and then you curl your fingers up and your thumb out, and then can you only lift your middle fingers? And then can you spread them?
What the fuck? Okay, hold on. So you start off like this.
Yeah. Thumb out. Roll your fingers up only, and then 2 middle fingers only, and then spread them. There you go. Yeah. And that means that you're the one that does sexual shit to other people.
So if you can't do that, you're just a big ass bottom?
Literally, the TikTok was how to know if you're a top or a bottom.
Oh, yeah. That's what I figured. That sounds like some TikTok shit to find out what position you are.
It's funny.
That's hilarious. Oh, well, very accurate. There you go. So I guess they're on to something. I'll have to go ask a bottom.
When their fingers are like, I can't do it. And you're like,
hey, can you do this? You're like, dear God. What's wrong with your hand?
It's funny. It's funny for sure.
It won't move. I'm like, oh, well, I guess we got our answer. Right. Fingers fall off. I'm like, damn, you that much of a bottom girl? But, Rona says, I'm doing it. That's funny. Now this is bottoming. All right. So, all right, y'all. I think we're going to wrap it up. That about does it for this episode. I think, as usual, when we don't have much to talk about, we make it work and we stretch it the fuck out.
That's correct.
I want to thank y'all so much for joining us on the latest episode of The Film Cave 58 to be exact.
Oh, that's correct. I gotta say, I finished True Detective.
Ah,
very good show.
I saw.
That was the other thing for out there in the world that I forgot. Very good show. Not like when I heard about it, it was because it was somebody's like greatest limited series of all time. It's not that for me, because the finale is very predictable. When the rest of the show had not been, but very well acted. The writing is on point, and literally, there's one moment in the finale where I was like, they've abandoned everything when it comes to like the absolute realism of everything. There was one moment where I'm like, what is this like video game finale type shit? But besides that, and all it is like they're walking into a building and they're looking for a guy, and the guy's like, hey, what are y'all like he's like monologuing, and it's like everywhere, and it's like, what is this shit? That's not how that works.
Gotcha.
And like he's like 3 rights and a left and walk forward, and that like he's in a room way over there, and he's like the main character like turns into a room and he's like, to your left. And it's like, you can't fucking see him. And so that was the only thing that like I was like, why are they abandoning that? But besides that, damn good show. Highly recommend it. I mean, McConaughey and Harrelson are fucking great. So just so everyone wants to know.
All right. Well, now that you mentioned that, where can people find you? What you got going on? And now that you're done, I mean, we get more DC. Thank you.
I know, that's the thing. So I was talking ahead about that. Yeah, so you can find me, Logan_Swish, right above me, on Twitter, and then Logan Swish on YouTube. And then also I have a Patreon, which I post everything I put on Patreon goes on my Twitter. And then, I don't know what I'm going to do next, because I have some shows that I can choose from. And then it also is the DC thing. I wish that I was motivated for the DC stuff, because I supposedly watched like Best Down.
No, you have not.
Okay, what's the best?
You still have not watched The Dark Knight Returns 1 and 2.
That's the best.
That's fucking amazing.
Okay.
You still have not
compared
watched...
to Mask of the Phantasm.
I love The Dark Knight Returns, dude. Part 1 and 2, like, because it's so adult, it's so dark, it's so gritty. Gotcha. It's amazing. What else? Because you got through the Batman stuff. You haven't watched Gotham Knight. I told you that's great. And to see the different animated styles.
I've only watched Phantasm and Suicide Squad, I think. Oh, and
Red Hood. Right.
That was my favorite one.
You're nowhere near done, motherfucker.
Yeah, Red Hood was my favorite one for sure.
Oh no, sir. You are not done with the best at all.
Okay.
But yeah, so you need to start off Dark Knight Returns 1 and 2. That needs to be where you pick up, and then go for the rest from there.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're nowhere near do the best.
That's a good question. When House of Dragon comes out, are you gonna watch it?
No, because I only watched the last season of Game of Thrones. So
you only watched the last season?
Yeah.
You watched the worst season. That's it.
That's the only one I've seen of all of Game of Thrones, because
that's really funny.
It never really grasped me. I know people were in love with it, but it was predictable to me. Everything I called was going to happen and stuff I did see, and I already knew the whole season, all the shit that happened. So I'm like, what am I going to watch now? Well, why?
Yeah.
Except for the last season, because my friends were fans of it and they just started watching it. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm here now, I guess. And they made it a thing. Yeah,
for me, it depends on what it looks like, obviously. But my honest answer right now is I don't need to. Because I highly doubt they're going to have the quality that Game of Thrones was at, in its mid seasons.
Right.
I'm going to be very surprised if they keep that up. But I need to see footage first, and I need to learn what the story truly is, because as of right now, it's one of those things. I don't need a prequel because I already know the conclusion,
Yeah.
So nothing too crazy can happen that'll surprise me, but maybe they'll surprise me anyway.
Who knows? It's HBO again. They still have the ranks.
Yeah.
It's Game of Thrones. Anything is possible. Do I think it'll be as impactful as Game of Thrones? No.
Right.
But I think it'll be a worthy addition to it. Hopefully, we'll see. Based on how the last season ended, apparently everybody's minds, I wouldn't be too sure. but we'll see. Then again, as everybody else, I wasn't a fan. I don't care.
Maybe for one episode in the middle of the season, they'll just do a sequel to where Game of Thrones ended, and bring back everybody, just like Mando and Boba Fett.
And it has everyone say "fuck all" to the season. Yeah. Bring back Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Continue. Hey, what's Jon Snow been up to? What's all these people?
Yeah.
Let's go check.
And they're like, this is hundreds of years later, and they're like,
like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, we wanted the big guns.
Right. They want our numbers are spiking.
I will admit, it's funny to realize, because I'm late to the game in damn near all TV.
Yeah, sure.
But it is funny how, besides something like The Walking Dead, absolute phenomenon. Lost, obviously phenomenon. Breaking Bad, phenomenon. But like, it's funny to realize how many of the big time shows that people talk about, or like shows that dared to be different, are from HBO. And like realizing like, oh no, correct, none of those are. But I'm talking about, you get you get to Watchmen, you get True Detective, like the ones that they dare to be R-rated and therefore more deep in realism. And that's what, like, I'm dying to watch. Now I can't remember the goddamn name. The radioactive place, Chernobyl, on there. I have heard that Chernobyl is fucking incredible. And it's like a super slow burn of just the realest, most scariest shit. Yeah. And I don't think that that's actually probably very good for Patreon. So I might not watch it on Patreon. But
I think I would just watch that on your time.
But I don't know. So if Ronan, if you've seen it, you can tell me if it's like reaction worthy. But like, I wouldn't think so. I would guess it's more of a slow burn. So.
Right, because it's so serious and it's very slow burn. I haven't watched it, but I know all about it. I've seen people's stuff about it and talk about it and stuff like that. And it just looks like it's that. Like, it's very just dialogue,
gotcha.
all throughout. I probably wouldn't do that. Right.
My top 5 rappers of all time are Dylan,
and Dylan, because I spit hot fat. So I probably wouldn't do that for sure.
Okay, gotcha. But yeah, I mean, but there's other things that I want to watch, and it's funny how they're on HBO Max because they were HBO.
Out of all the Patreon shows you've watched so far,
oh God,
what's the best one?
There's not even a question.
Right answers only.
Yeah, it's not even a question. Like, so that was the thing, was the TikTok that I saw that gave me True Detective as an idea.
Oh, I was like the gay one?
No. It had Watchmen as an honorable mention, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, what is the top 5? Like, because that's what it was. And they had 13 Reasons Why as number 2.
Ugh.
And I was like, what the fuck is happening? Because I watched that.
I was like, you took that list seriously? That person?
But then it had True Detective season 1 as number 1, and so I was like, okay, I'm gonna look into that.
This person's high.
But no, Watchmen. I was telling this to Hannah. Watchmen is the greatest season of television I've ever seen. Period. End of story.
That's very true. Very, very, very true. That's like,
but I mean, like, I don't know if something can beat it because it feeds perfectly into me where. It's obviously my shit in terms of like superhero stuff, but that's not the point at all.
Yeah, that's so background.
Right. The point is that what I give a shit about is tying up loose ends and, making the story, like, there's not a line of dialogue in Watchmen that they didn't think about.
That's wasted.
And and I honestly, in a lot of ways, I look at the first Deadpool in that way, where that script was being made for 6 years, and you can tell. And then
was tight.
And then Deadpool 2, I fucking despise that movie. Like, none of the comedy works for me and all that, because it's like it's a first draft of a Deadpool movie, is what it felt like. And it's not, obviously, but like, it just didn't have that amount of time taken to where we need to make, because they were trying to get Deadpool made with the first one, so they're like, we can't waste any fucking time.
Yeah.
Everything needs to hit or be meaningful. And that's how Watchmen was. And it all fucking turned like, and it helps that you have great characters, great actors to play them, directors, all that shit just works. So,
and also condolences to Regina King for sure, who just lost her son, which really sucks.
Crazy.
Yeah, no. But yeah, Watchmen is single-handedly the best fucking. Dear God, I need to do a watch through again. Just watch it, just because.
I literally the fact that I reacted to that whole show, and then within the next week, I had watched the whole thing again, and so I made Hannah watch it, and she was like, "That's fucking great." So
yeah,
it's awesome.
It is gorgeous. Oh, I love the show. All right. Anyway, I digress. You guys can find me right up top on all forms of social media. And if you're watching on the old channel, please click the link in the description box to be sent to the new one. And make sure you subscribe. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that notification bell. Be reminded when all episodes drop and more. And you get to see our faces every week. What's so wrong with that? I don't think anything.
Not a damn thing.
Not a gots damn thing. But anyway, that's going to do it. It's your boy, Nye.
And I'm Logan.
And as always, I will see you in the cave. Peace.
See you guys.
Oh, and we get the outro music for that?